All right. With that discussion, hopefully never going anywhere. This is Star Trek Europa. I am your host, as always, Jeff Harvey. I am your game master and storyteller. So all the things that go wrong are probably Brian's fault. Let's go ahead and do the rest of the introductions. Let's start with Brian, in fact.
Hi, I'm Brian. Everything is my fault. I'm playing Yezabeth Hage, amongst other characters. I'm going to plug. I'm trying to put together a limited run game for people who are new at Star Trek. So join the Starfleet Command Discord server. And if you're interested in giving the system a try, happy to show people the ropes.
To wit, you can find a link to that Star Trek Discord server in the link tree that I have posted in the chat, which also will be available in all of the show notes. So
yeah, I should say it's not going to be streamed. It's purely offline.
Right.
All right. Definitely not a trap from the guy who consistently tells us to not find him. Not a trap at all. He's not a mimic.
Find my games, not me.
Kendall, you're up. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, I am Kendall. I'm Kendall the Elemental on TikTok. And I am playing 2 characters.
At the moment. Yeah, more to come. Ev, go ahead.
I am Ev. You can find me at Caffeinatrix on TikTok. You can also find me over on the Saints by Night server. I am playing 4 characters. One of them is in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
I know, very bad.
Possibly fewer shortly.
Possibly.
All right, Jack, go ahead.
Yes, hello, I am Jack. I have lots of words. Hello, how's everybody doing today? You might know me from my own channel, twitch.tv/The People Ascension, and the associated YouTube and Twitter. On Twitter, that is PPLS Ascension, because my name's too long for birds to say. Let's see. I am actually finally getting back into my groove. So hopefully you'll be seeing some more of me. Not only will you be seeing me here playing all of my characters, such as Ambrose and Tong, who are going to be big in today's episode, but I am also about to start an SCP game on twitch.tv/Tales from the Tabletop with that Lion Knight 42. Lion Drake, great guy. He's been on my channel. Very much looking forward to that. That is set to start not next Monday, but the Monday after that at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to hear more about that, come follow me on Twitter. I can point you in the direction of Lion. It's going to be a really awesome show. I'm really excited for my character. I'm basically an ultra capitalist secret agent with a really fancy car. It's going to be a great time.
Tong.
Very, very different from Tong. Very, very different from Tong. And I should be getting back to my channel finally. You may know me from what I normally do, which is RPGs Uncovered, a series dedicated to showing just how quick and easy it can be to learn a new TTRPG. I usually focus on indie stuff, small creator games. Unfortunately, there's been some difficulties with that. So I think this upcoming season 4 of RPGs Uncovered, I'm going to be looking at Cyberpunk Red. Following that cyberpunk hype train because of the anime and the updates to the game and the expansion coming out. So if you would like to learn how to play Cyberpunk Red and see some more cyberpunk mayhem, come hang out with me. That should be scheduled. I don't have a start time, but it's usually on Sundays. So come follow me on Twitter and Discord and Twitch and all of those other places. But for now, so I can stop talking, I am excited for today's episode, gallivanting into Romulan space with Secret Agent Tong.
Nice. As I said, you can find me, Studio Tembo, on all the places. There's a link in the link tree. Links to all the things are in the link tree that I posted in the notes. You can catch my 12-part mini-series on TikTok of having gone to the prehistoric forest without Evelyn recently. So she was busy doing Ren Fair stuff. So, which is an abandoned amusement park, for those of you who don't know. It's an abandoned amusement park that closed in 1999, and it's kind of neat to go see all the abandoned dinosaurs and stuff. So
yeah, no, I'm super disappointed that I couldn't go, unfortunately.
Yeah. On that note, though, let's go ahead and do a recap of last week's episode. Evelyn, I think did you take notes last week?
I did take notes, but again, super crazy day. So we got a temporary detachment from Narendra. We were sent to Starbase 234 to rendezvous with the Ranger. Silva and Tong were temporarily reassigned to the Ranger and received eyes-only communication. We also received Lieutenant Commander Harris, who is very eager to eat wasabi for lunch.
That's the JAG officer.
That's the JAG officer.
That's the reason they call them Jag-offs.
Yeah, no, there was for a brief moment there, I did not think we were going to finish that word. Investigating, had a conversation with Savi and with Yezza, and with the captain. He met Lieutenant Tana Seal. Boba promptly put his foot in his mouth. Fantastic. She is a officer, yes. Of some flavor.
Who's that?
Tana.
Yes. Of some flavor.
And she and Foxwell and O'Connor had a conversation about Eva and SSH, and sentience. Had some snarky things to share about Foxwell demonstrating intelligence that he was espousing. We found out that Tong's uncle Roll was smuggling us onto Hooray?
I think it's Korea 4.
Yeah, oh, there we go. I missed an A. Hooray 4.
CARAYA 4.
Yep, I just missed the last A. I'm like, that doesn't look right. So yeah, Brol is smuggling us onto Korea 4. Tong was incredibly certain, said Brol makes bad Ferengi look good. Brol was very excited to have his nephew aboard and was trying to sweet talk him into joining him. Silva and Tong got put through the ringer in a holodeck, fighting a bunch of various assorted creatures. And Agent
Harris.
Agent Harris.
Sorry, Agent Thomas.
No, Agent Thomas. Agent Thomas informed us as we were getting ready to head to the planet, I believe, sort of off, that this was not an officially sanctioned mission, and if something happened to us, we will be disavowed. And if we're successful, we will be heroes in our own mind, and no one else will.
As it should be.
As it should be. That is rough. Oh, when Roll took Tong with him elsewhere.
Upstairs.
Silva and Heketh, who revealed his name to Saul, are sleeping down with the Nausicaan Klingons. Tong is too good for that, and was taken to better accommodations. Tong was able to memorize notes of the code that Roll punched in. Has at least some access to parts of the ship that we otherwise
wouldn't. Okay.
I think that's all I got.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to add?
Mm-mm.
All right. Does anybody have one where they want to start out? If not, I have a starting point.
I did want to. Were we going to start with the Dasavi Ambrose conversation, or should that be held off?
Sounds good to me. So, on the bridge, or well, I should say probably in the ready room, you have Dasavi and Ambrosius, which is not what you would call him. You would not like that. My character in the LARP Brothers name is Ambrose, and I always call him Ambrosius. It's hard not to say it sometimes. So, the two of you are in the office. Have at.
Right. I had a conversation with the lieutenant commander, of course.
How did that go?
I have a concern. He is entirely too eager.
I've noticed.
To the point that I have reason to believe he's not going to be able to. He seems to have come on board with out for blood. How I would best describe it. He seems less interested in investigating the facts and more interested in bringing up the gallows.
I believe our Lieutenant Commander Harris is looking to make one final big distinguishing mark in his JAG career to move up to whatever comes next for him. I get that sense.
That could very well be.
I'm not certain he holds any malicious intent, but he is clouded by something other than just finding the truth and addressing issues appropriately. He's looking to make a show of this, or at least to make some final big spectacle with him out on top. And that is a dangerous position for everybody involved.
Okay.
I would urge you to be careful about what exactly it is you tell him. Of course, remain truthful. But there are resources available to you, which can be made available to you upon request. Unfortunately, using those resources sometimes does not look particularly favorably, but they are there for a reason. Specifically, I believe this reason. I've not had the chance to talk with the man in any detail. Went over his itinerary briefly. But I would doubt, despite Lieutenant Commander Harris's eagerness, that Starfleet is any position to want some big spectacular court-martial here. I would present what you have to offer truthfully, but with political restraint that I understand that you are not quite adept in. I'll be calling the admirals. Try to get ahead of this.
It may be for the best. I was honest with him in my interview. I was just as honest with him as I was in my report. If I were and I suppose it really depends on how the higher ups choose to interpret it. I would hope they would interpret my honesty and admission that meddling with other people's minds was a violation. To hell with Starfleet protocols, simply a violation per person. I would hope that would show them that it was not intentional, not something I had ever intended to, had ever seen myself do.
Right.
And was at the moment, in the moment, the lesser of two.
What's done is done, and the facts have been presented. I don't think this is an order of... I don't think anyone here is trying to determine guilt or even extent of guilt. You did what you did. It's in your report. You were truthful, and I think from my own standpoints, however, you're a member of my crew. We've worked together for quite some time now. I understand why you did what you did. But that nuance doesn't always make its way through the data pads.
No.
This sounds entirely, as I said, about making a name for oneself. And to do that, I would imagine that he is going to try to make it as spectacular as possible, which means as probably going to want to throw the book at you. And since you've admitted what you've done, and by the book, that is a very serious offense, the nuance might not come into play, especially in his mind.
No, he seemed quite pleased.
I don't intend to see that happen, but there will be consequences. Probably for this entire ship. Because that's the position you were in, a representative of this entire ship.
The ship doesn't deserve to bear the weight of
One person can't hold the entire burden of a Starfleet position, let alone command, on their own shoulders. There's a reason why these ships have a crew, a senior staff. We all work together to hold up the same burden and to help each other.
And in most circumstances, that is what we ought to do. The crew didn't make this decision. This was not put to a vote. They were not given an option. They weren't even being told what I was doing. I have no doubt if they had, they would have acted differently.
The crew made the decision when they took their oath to Starfleet, when they stepped aboard this ship, to trust in the command of the senior staff, of the admirals who assign the senior staff to these starships, to the captain who oversees the entire crew, who oversees the XO. Everyone has difficult missions, Dasadi. You go down to enough planets, sooner or later, something's going to come back up with you. That is also a burden that every one of us should acknowledge, and we've taken when we've made that oath to Starfleet. And we share that all together. So I don't intend to see you thrown off my ship and placed into some Starfleet political rehabilitation facility or whatever they're calling prisons nowadays. You're a valued member of this crew who was put in a position above, against what you were trained for or what you desired. And I intend to remind them of that. We'll get you back to where you belong, which is your med bay.
Disagree.
Is there anything else?
Yes.
I don't think I have to tell you, or maybe I do. I hear doctors make the worst patients, that there are counseling staff available if you need to speak with somebody. And I recommend you do. Or, of course, if you are uncomfortable speaking with anyone under your own command, I'm sure there are resources made available on the nearby station or via conference call. Until then, don't be too down on yourself. Harris plans to take that mantle on solely on his own.
In some ways. He could strip me of everything I've worked for, sacrificed for. And it wouldn't be in some.
One decision shouldn't define a person, shouldn't dictate the rest of their life. You are more than that one decision.
And I hope that that comes through. That the rest of my record shows this is not the market.
All right, let's go ahead and roll credits. That sounds like a good spot to roll credits and move on.
No, unless somebody tells me, hey, you're quiet, or I happen to have SIDS open.
Right. All right. Let's go ahead and do the captain's log, and then we will jump to Broll and his ship. The captain's log does not lead into that. It's just a good place to put the captain's log.
Captain's log, supplemental. While we wait for the recommendation of Lieutenant Commander Harris in regards to Dr. Onaet and the hopeful return of Lieutenants Tong and Silva, Europa will be on a wellness patrol of this region. These tend to be rather dull assignments since the Romulans signed the Dominion War Pact. However, the current internal struggles rumored in the Empire and the ongoing Klingon Civil War, tensions could be very high.
All right. Back aboard Broll's ship. Tong has spent an evening likely, oh my lord, likely avoiding, well, thank you for whoever subscribed. Let's see.
Oh, Cozen.
Nice.
Hi, Cozen.
With that, it scared the crap out of me. I know you guys can't hear it, but it scared the crap out of me. With that, Tong has spent the majority of the evening likely avoiding whatever it is Broll left for his employees,
whoever
or whoever
Right.
Tong's Broll sent left for Tong to deal with. The morning the morning aboard ship happens, and you guys are getting prepared to beam down. Breakfast and whatnot with the Klingons and Nausicaans. Broll comes out to Tong. All right, my boy, you've had some time to think about it, but you've got more. I'm going to be here when you get back. I promise you that. I'll be here. You think about everything I've told you and everything that these fine specimens have told you. In the meantime, let's get some, well, breakfast, I suppose. Puts a hand in your back and leads you, starts leading you towards the...
of course, Uncle. Yes, of course.
Did you have any questions? As you load into the turbolift. He's got this giant toothy smile on his face.
Oh, well, I for obvious reasons, I don't get a lot of time to really take too much of a look at Orion technology. Not that I've done so, last night or anything, but I certainly have plenty of questions about the ship and
there's plenty
of the stuff you're working.
Puts his arm around you and to kind of stifle you a little bit. Oh, plenty of time for that, my boy. Plenty of time for that. But you know the price. Pokes you a couple times in the ribs, and the turbolift door opens up, and he gestures for you to make your way. Your friends are over there somewhere eating whatever it is the Nausicaans threw up last night.
Yeah.
He smiles again and moves off towards an unknown location.
Yeah, and I'll go back over to Silva and I suppose Agent Thomas, who I assume is there still.
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of real stiff, looking around.
The rest of you had a not, I'm guessing, pleasant evening of sleep. Silva probably didn't do too bad. She's a little used to the rough conditions, back in her day in the Maquis, but having slept aboard a Starfleet ship for a while, this is even going back to this from even having done this before. It's one of those things where it's like, nothing quite like staying at La Quinta. Evelyn got the joke. That's good. All right. But yes, so you guys are a little sore. You've been sleeping you slept mostly on the floor on piles of mats and things like that, or hard, as if you were sleeping. It's much like Klingon bunks on Klingon ships. They're just kind of hard and not well.
Imagine it can't be any worse than the brig.
Yeah, probably.
Or whatever Starfleet.
I mean, it's a
prison I've been staying in.
A Starfleet brig, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
the food's better even there.
Yeah, that's a Marriott by comparison. So the four of you, or the three of you, are there at the moment. Harris is talking to one of the other Klingons as aboard ship and having a discussion with him about who knows what. But he keeps pointing to different weapons. So you guys have a few moments of yourself with just the three of you before Thomas gets back.
Oh, well, great breakfast here, Tom. I love my grub worms glistening.
Yeah, it's it is nice to have fresh tube grubs.
Damn the geese.
You seem to be getting along well with your uncle. Do you think he'll come through?
I think as long as Thomas here comes through with whatever he said he was doing, then yes,
I
probably.
believe it was 15 more gold bars after we're safely delivered.
Right. I mean, unless somebody can make a better offer.
That is a concern.
Of course, to get a better offer, you would kind of have to divulge, what we're doing, which would be risky if they don't make a better offer. So, probably okay.
Well, Tom, what do you say we put forward a little down payment of our own? Do you think you can tap into the ship's communications? Maybe we can, if they do end up turning on us, might be able to get a heads up.
Shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Orion ship design or programming protocols, and who knows what Burl has done to this ship with Klingon tech and Nausicaan stuff. I mean, obviously the ship can cloak, so it's not standard.
Right.
But I could try.
Give it a shot. Just go ahead and plant a transponder somewhere in the cockpit. It'll intercept any comms traffic and send it to our badges.
Well, we're not going to have our comm badges.
No.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if we're going to have any communication down on the planet. I'd imagine that would kind of
gotta have something. Could we
well, with the dampening fields, your communicators probably wouldn't work anyways.
Right.
Part of the plan that you've been informed is that you're going to try to use a communications console on the planet side, because there is working technology on the planet. It just isn't widespread.
All right, well, never mind then. If there's no technology for us to get forewarned with, then it doesn't really matter.
You wanted to, what are we trying to figure out exactly? You wanted to know if he sends out a message somewhere?
Yeah, basically.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Well,
would
I assume we'll be bringing a basic tricorder, even if it doesn't work terribly well. And a tricorder in principle is just a really fancy communicator that looks for different signals. So I could try to reprogram that. And if we make it a one-to-one link from whatever I put here to that tricorder, it might cut through the interference and be unlikely to be intercepted, but I can't really guarantee that.
I think it's worth a try. I'd rather have a shot at a heads up than not.
Right.
Would it be, and I'm going to guess the answer is yes, but I'm going to ask anyway, would it be entirely unfeasible, given the time that we probably have at the very least, to set something up to scan for specific keywords or phrases, and if those are uttered, somehow sabotage the ship?
Yeah, you wouldn't have time for that.
Okay.
Yeah. That would take a lot of prepping, and we're about to beam. You're getting ready to beam down shortly, so.
Okay. I figured, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Tom could probably pretty easily tap into the replication system and get into the ship's systems for communications and everything else. Like everything ties together. We've already figured this out. That's one thing Tech proved. So from the room you guys are even in, Tech, Tom could probably figure something out with a decent enough roll to set up something where the tricorder would get like it could record all outgoing messages. Really, like you get a notification of all outgoing messages. That would probably be your best bet.
Okay.
It's like exactly what we're looking for.
That's more than I assumed that we were going to get. So yeah, I assume we're in a mess hall or something equivalent. So there has to be a food replicator here. I could go over and
whether or not you actually get the information because you'll be on the planet that has dampening, you don't know, but you can certainly set it up. So
yeah.
All right. Well, let's say the difficulty, because you're using the inappropriate equipment, where the difficulty is going to be 3. I'm going to go ahead and spend a threat because you're in the middle. I'm going to spend 2 threat because you're in the middle of a mess hall with Nausicaans and Klingons aboard a ship that is not yours, messing with stuff that is definitely not yours to mess with. So if you get seen, that could cause problems.
And I assist.
I was also going to ask to assist. Can we both assist? I mainly want to run interference for Tom, like distract any Nausicaans, make sure that keep people occupied and off of Tom.
Okay. So here's what we'll do. Silva, you go ahead and roll first. It'll be. Let's see what we do here. Something in presence. Let's say.
Not security, espionage.
Yeah, presence. I would say presence and security because you're not. Yeah, you're still doing something physically with your body to distract somebody. So let's say presence and security would be fine.
Okay. Okay.
And if you difficulty is gonna be 2, and if you succeed, you will flirt or otherwise entertain Nausicaans in a way that they don't notice, be it knife sharpening on your teeth or whatever.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try and strike up a conversation with them about Damjot or something that they care about, just as a distraction.
Damjot. You want to play Damjot?
Oh yeah, I was there for the Damjot championships on Andor last year.
So if you fail, one of them stabs you through the heart. I don't know.
Well, I succeeded, so not today, Nausicaans.
All right. So you're talking with the Nausicaans about Damjot, and they start laughing and gathering around you and talking about Damjot, which will give you advantage to Tong and Teketh for the actual roll, which means the difficulty is lowered essentially by 1. The difficulty is 2 with 2 additional complication. Go ahead and make the roll. It would probably be for Tong. It's daring and engineering and maybe security. I could see daring and either security or engineering for either of the 2 of you.
Okay. Yeah, daring makes more sense. Control is way better, but daring makes more sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely daring.
Yeah. Are we doing 19-20 complication or 18-19-20?
18-19-20.
Okay, so that is a 3 on the complication range, I believe.
And I presume the espionage focus counts here.
Yes.
My focus with transporters and replicators.
Yes.
All right. What's the difficulty now?
Difficulty is 2.
Okay. Are we sitting on any momentum? I don't think
Negative.
So. Just have a bunch of threat.
Never hurts to generate more.
Yeah. I'm going to give you another threat for a 3rd die, which is less about me making this, knock on wood, and more about seeing if we can generate some momentum. Okay, so I'm going to, while she's doing this, I'm gonna take a handful of something and put it in my mouth and no, this is a Ferengi owned ship. This can't stand. There has to be some better recipes in this food replicator. And he goes over and starts do.
Okay.
I mean, not drawing attention to myself.
Yeah.
But giving him a reason for being
making plausible excuses as to why you would be over there. Yeah.
Okay. Daring, engineering, complication range, task roll, go.
Nice. 3 and 1 from Teketh to aid. So that is 4. You had a difficulty of 2. Nice. That is 2 additional momentum. You can either use them to do something right now, or you can save them. I assume you don't have a whole lot you want to do here right now, so you probably save them.
Yeah, best to bank them for whatever mess we're about to get ourselves into.
All right. 2 momentum. So you succeed in implanting whatever the device is, the Technobabble chart number 3.
I'm actually basically doing what Teketh did in reverse.
Right. Yeah, which is why I'm all for Teketh. You know, I like that it works that way because Teketh is here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yes.
He'll just kind of like point out, like, oh no, like if you this here, see, that's where you went last time. Done
I
that.
know. I spent hours and hours. No.
All right. After a few minutes of that, Silva manages to wrap up her conversation without being beaten to death or stabbed in the heart, which is an accomplishment when it comes to both Silva and the Nausicaans. By the time, what's that?
We talked about the recent cheating scandal, the Domjot world, where somebody. No, go ahead.
Gotcha. You guys get back. The three of you get back together, giving each other knowing nods and looks. As by the time that Agent Thomas comes back over, we'll be out around planet shortly. It's time to get ready to go. Anything else you need to acquire before we beam down? You've got about 10 minutes. I'll meet you in the transporter room. Don't get stabbed in the next 10 minutes. And he kind of heads
Tend
off.
to not get stabbed at all.
Silver rolls her eyes. Well, there goes my plans for the next hour.
All right.
Well, I think we're all set up.
Good job, Tom.
Excellent work.
All right. Commercial break happens, and then we come back to you guys heading into the transporter room and beaming down. So you guys will land on the planet, and we'll go from there next. We come back to you guys. What's my next thing on my sheet here?
Sounds good.
So back aboard the Europa, Harris and Elizabeth are having a conversation. Excuse me, are in their office, and we didn't do it on camera, and we're not going to, but he goes through and says, all right, that's Define. We've got Mills is already done, and Kostra, and he goes through a list of names of people that he has interviewed and talked to. The last one on the list appears to be the other Onaet. Could you, if she's out there, could you send her in?
Of course. And she'll go fetch her, call her down. Kendall will arrive, a bundle of nerves.
Other Kendall.
Yep. Sorry. She'll walk in and she'll say, "Is this about Lieutenant Shajin?"
It is not, but that is a matter we will be looking into also. Also, I just want to say this real quick. Kendall the character and Kendall the player look very similar.
Do they?
They look very similar. Like, put glasses on Kendall the character and it is, yeah. I don't know. Something about the facial structure. That said.
A little bit.
I see it. Anyways, it is not about Shajin at this time. That is another investigation altogether. This is, in fact, an investigation regarding the actions of Dr. Onaet in several recent missions. Please have a seat.
Sit down. Hands up, parallel to her legs.
I imagine it's difficult serving aboard ship with family, especially when family is this executive officer. I see you struggled a little bit near the end of the academy. Good records, but some struggle. When you came aboard ship, there have been a number of incidents and recommendations that you seek counseling. Have you done this? Have you sought counseling?
I have. I believe the contents of the counseling are confidential.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I just wanted to know if you had sought the aid.
My mother recommended it, but yes, I have.
May I ask, and of course, feel free to say no if it's over the line, but why do you believe you've had struggles aboard in Starfleet since arriving on the Europa.
Well, I don't know if I could answer that question in a way that would make sense to somebody who was. Imagine if you lost your arm and you were used to tying your shoes with two arms, and suddenly one was taken away. You could adjust, but you need to learn. And I don't think I've adjusted to having my beta Z empathy. But I don't really want to talk about that, though.
I understand. Your service aboard this ship has been otherwise I don't want to say exemplary, but satisfactory. There's been a few incidents, obviously. You've had some cross moments with Lieutenant Shajin, as you pointed out. Let me ask you this. How do you feel the executive officer has thus far dealt with those conflicts? Do you believe that they are in any way affected by her connection to you on a personal level?
She hasn't given me any special treatment, or if that's what you mean. She's been as competent a executive officer as I've ever seen. Her very short career jacket probably belies the
confidence.
Yeah,
the statement. Yeah.
Excellent. The last question that I really have is, why did you join Starfleet?
Because my mother, she was a hero to me growing up. Seeing her serving in uniform was always an inspiration. And so after the Dominion War, I decided to join and follow in her footsteps.
Did you see her much during the Dominion War?
No, she was mostly serving elsewhere. But I suppose when the Dominion was occupying Beta Z, I wished I'd been where she was, helping her. And when I couldn't, it made me feel like the only way I'd be able to measure up to her example is to do what she was doing and help people how I could. I'm no doctor. I don't have her skills, but maybe I'm helping in my own way.
So you'd say that there was some level of hero worship to your mother and her career in Starfleet, and that's what drove you to join.
I'm sorry. Is this a counseling session?
I'm trying to establish the relationship that your mother has had with with junior officers in Starfleet, and yours is a particularly unique level of connection.
Well, I might be a bad example for you then.
Why is that?
We haven't talked much. I meant what I said when she hasn't given me any special treatment. And I think part of that is that she doesn't take much of an interest in me being here at all. So I don't think I would be the best person to ask that question because, frankly, she hasn't talked to me much.
Do you feel that she's given you, I shouldn't say preferential treatment is not the correct word. Do you believe that she has in any way treated you
unfairly?
Yes, unfairly. That's what I'm looking for. Unfairly aboard ship? Perhaps as an attempt to just see if you can stand on your own?
You're asking me to put myself in the mind of my mother, which is not exactly something I'm willing to do.
I see. Do you feel as though you have received less attention than officers who are your peers?
I don't know how much attention that they've received. I can't answer that. And frankly, you're putting me in a tough spot. This is my mother you're talking about, and you're asking me to put something. You're going to, whatever I say against her, you're going to write down in that book, and it's going to be something that came from her daughter. And you've got to admit, that's a little unfair to put that pressure on me.
Well, I am simply trying to make sure that Starfleet has the best officers in the best positions. And that the officers, I assumed, and of course it is an unfair ask of you, but as a Starfleet officer, I expect that you can make a separated judgment of the quality of your officers, or at least your experience with them.
I can't speak as to whether she's in the best position or not. I don't know, but I can say she's the best officer I've ever seen. There's a reason why you said I hero worshipped her, fine, but there's a reason I worshipped her as a hero, and that's because she was a hero in the war. I heard all about what she did. She even saved the captain's life. Of course, who wouldn't think that she's a hero? So if you want the answers, whether she's the best, whether she's a good Starfleet officer, that I can answer.
From the rumors that you've heard.
From the rumors that I've heard of what?
That she is a good Starfleet officer. You've served very little time aboard ship. She hasn't spent much time with you. She has largely ignored you aboard the ship. You didn't spend much time with her during the Dominion War. You have heard that she is a good Starfleet officer. That is your assumption.
She realizes she's been caught out and shrinks a little. She says, I suppose I've said what I've said.
I thank you for your time, Ensign.
She's going to head to the door and she's going to turn. And what about Jessa Sajid? I know you said you were looking into it, but the captain's also said he's looking into it.
That is a separate investigation that's being looked into. I did not say I was looking into it.
Who is?
That is an excellent question, and I will ask the captain when I see him next.
She'll leave.
All right. Let's see. Back on the planet, Silva and Tong, and Harris and Taketh, or whatever his real name happens to be today. You beam down to a small encampment. It's actually far more lively than you would have expected. It's there are people from other worlds. It is a hustling and bustling, almost outdoor market where
I believe it's like a jungle or forest world, right? Or at
Correct.
least-
Yep. And where you're at, there is still a lot of forest and things around, but it's a small citied, like it's an encampment in the woods kind of thing. There's a lot of, like I said, there's probably a dozen stalls. There's a Uridian and an Orion and a few other races that are on the planet. They're clearly there, like they have small shuttlecrafts that have landed there. They're clearly there with the intent of selling things, probably at exorbitant prices, to the prisoners who are trapped on this world. It is hustling and bustling. There are a lot of people who are dressed in a gray full overall with numbers on it. There's also the numbers are in Romulan. There's a large tag on their backs also that is in Romulan. It doesn't take long for Teketh to understand that, because he speaks Romulan. Anyone else who speaks Romulan, that it just says prisoner and there's an identification number for them. There's probably 24 of them milling about and picking things up, and a lot of them are carrying like hand woven baskets of supplies they have purchased or otherwise bartered for from this group of people. The lot of you land, and almost immediately a couple of the prisoners begin walking towards Tong with a rapid gesticulation of excitement. A Ferengi obviously is something that they're accustomed to seeing, and they clearly expect something from a Ferengi when they see them. But they're making their way over to you. Agent Thomas leans over to Tong and says, "Try to keep them busy for a few moments while the rest of us see what information we can find." The longer we spend here, the more likely we are to be found as not supposed to be here. Teketh, or what is Teketh's name? Sorry. Oh, there it is. Ladal. Ladal. Savine. Silva. Sorry, I don't know why Savine is there. Silva. Savine is, I don't know, sorry. Ladal, Silva, spread out, see what you can find. And we're looking for any information we can find about high security prisoners or high security prison areas.
Got it.
They promptly swamp Tong as the three of you move away. This can be a little social role for Tong. I don't know what you want to what kind of story you want to make up, or if you just kind of want to try to bumble it. But
yeah, he's definitely bumbling. He was not aware that this was his job. He was assuming he was the tech guy, not the face of this shadow run. And he is not it. I mean, there's a reason he's not a Ferengi merchant. There's a reason he's a Starfleet engineer.
Right.
So he does just look at Thomas like, what are you making me do? Are we like, this was not the situation Tong was expecting at all. Are we in like black turtleneck spy gear? Did we come down in civilian clothes?
You are wearing the turtleneck gear underneath some easy access civilian gear. So he informed you. I should have said that before. He would have informed you that the first step is to get some information as to where we're actually going, and then breaking into a high security facility after that. So
yeah, I think there was a lack of mission briefing here, because Tong assumed that he was going to that they were beaming down into a forest and they were going to scale a wall right, and slither into a facility and break into their comm channels. And now he's, I don't know, selling lint from his pockets to prisoners.
Distracting them temporarily. Yes, there is going to he did inform you that during the mission briefing, we can jump back real quick to the mission briefing, that the first step was to land here, get as much information as we can, and then we're going to be breaking into whatever facility we find. But there's 3 facilities on the planet, and he needs to figure out which one is the most likely target. And so that's what you guys are going to do here first. That is unfortunately got cut out in my eagerness to prep and not think of all the scenes. But anyway,
No worries.
so with that, Tong can bumble a little bit, and we can make a roll.
Oh boy. I think Tong is just going to think about all the things he's seen on the ship as to what he might be able to entice these people with, exotic foods.
Mostly when they come to you, they mostly appear to be looking for passage. Like they're begging you for passage, which obviously is not something you can actually offer them, but possibly,
Right. So these are prisoners. So asking for passage is asking to be smuggled out of a prison planet.
That is exactly what they're asking for.
Gotcha. I think with that, actually, he'll go with what he knows. He'll just start rambling off ship specifications and cloaking drive specifications, and
right.
We'll have to take this route over to this route, and we're gonna have to sit atop of the gravity well of this gas giant, and he's just gonna make it sound as complicated as possible,
right.
to make it sound like it is way more costly than these people are able to afford.
Right. Sounds good. Give me a presence and command roll.
Presence command. All right. For a grand total of 8.
Difficulty is going to be 1 because all you're doing is distracting them. So.
Okay. Oh boy. I have no focus in this whatsoever. You know what? I'm not going to buy any dice. It's more interesting if this goes wrong. So let's see what happens. That's not correct.
That is
this button.
That's not correct.
All right.
So nice.
2 successes on a target value of 8.
All right. So Tong is chatting away like Tong is making Latin at the moment, or would be if he was actually asking for any. And you guys gain momentum. So Tong hasn't easily distracted. What are the other 2 of you going to be doing? Thomas has gone off to talk to one of the Iridians and see what information he can gather. What the other 2 of you have any interest in doing? What is your thought for gathering information?
Ev can go first if she'd like, but I have an idea.
Go ahead.
So Ev will go over to a group, preferably at least 4 people, and she'll strike up a conversation with them, talk barter. But it's all a ruse. So what I would like to do is I'd like to spend momentum to say I grabbed something valuable from the ship. Something like
something to barter.
A trinket, yeah. And I'm going to tell them, hey, listen, have you ever seen one of these? It is a gold-plated Rubik's sphere. It can be used for all kinds of things. And she'll make up some grade A bullshit about everything you can do. And she'll say, I'm looking to offload it. And guess what? For not very much at all. I just want to know a little bit about the high security section of the planet.
Are you going to be talking to a prisoner, or are you going to be talking to
a group of 4 prisoners?
Prisoners, okay.
Yeah, and I'd like your uniforms.
Okay. The one of the prisoners is, well, I don't need a lot of the functions this thing has, but I can certainly use it to barter for something else. The uniforms, though, that's a little harder. If we're seen without these, it's bad. It's really bad. But go ahead and make a roll.
Yeah, let me see if I can talk him into it. So I have the interrogation talent. If I succeeded a task to coerce someone to reveal information in a social conflict, I gain 1 bonus momentum, which can be spent on the obtained information.
Okay.
So I have to succeed at the roll for that to apply.
Are you doing something separate, Teketh, or are you doing with?
I think we will spread out.
Okay.
To try and cover them around.
Okay.
I will spend a momentum on this roll. And what kind of roll do you want me to do?
It would be probably persuasion and command.
Okay, presence command.
Yeah, presence. Sorry, I saw prayer and just went.
You know what? I would like to use a determination. I have a value that says "Welcome to the jungle."
In the jungle.
Yeah,
literally the jungle. Oh, that's not what that means. But
look, it is also figuratively the jungle.
Yes, it is figurative jungle. Yes, I will. I'll allow that.
All right, cool. She is here and ready to rumble. So that gives me 2 free successes. Going to still spend that momentum. That's 4
successes. Typically it was 2, so yes. You have 2 momentum to gain for the action, plus you gained 1 free momentum, correct, for the for your feat, or whatever we call them now, talents. So they tell you that the prisoner tells you that I can. They talk amongst themselves for a few minutes, and then one of them's like, I think we can do this for this. I think the Ferengi would probably want this, and we might be able to get some passage for at least 1 or 2 people if we do this. Let's give up the uniforms and we can do this. And then they tell you that there are 3 maximum security facilities on the planet. One is currently, one of them is currently being evacuated. Or no, sorry. One of them is currently being shut down, as in decommissioned, and the other 2 are active, but one of them is scheduled for the prisoners to be taken off planet soon.
Okay. For my obtained information, I'd like to know a bit about the security here. Do they have biometric scanners to determine who each prisoners are?
So the uniforms and there's a chip in each person are used to identify when entering specific areas of the planet. Every night there is a count. Every prisoner has to be accounted for, or else bad things happen. They don't talk about necessarily what, but there's also there are a number of on-world guards, and there are regular ships. There's a regular patrol of ships that comes through the area.
Okay, but so it sounds like they mainly keep track of prisoners through those chips.
So the chips and uniforms, yeah. So the uniforms are scanned consistently, and the prisoners have chips.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all. I'll bank the other momentum, or I'll bank the 2 other momentum since that was my bonus momentum.
All right. To Ladal, what are you doing?
He is. He's going to kind of just slowly intermingle amongst the people, listening for what chatter he can pick up, listening particularly for someone expressing, or a group of someone's expressing disappointment at particular goods they can't get or haven't had in a while.
Yeah.
Something of that nature.
It doesn't take very long. There's a group of 2 or 3 prisoners who are trying to get tula berries from one of the Iridians, but the Iridian hasn't been able to get it since the Dominion. He basically was on like since the Dominion War's been over, there's been less trade, and tula berries they're just not coming through the wormhole anymore. And he can't get them. Which obviously starts up the disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Hugo, are they staying with the Iridian, or are they like moving away and just kind of crumbling to themselves?
Whichever you need, whichever works best for you. They will eventually move on. So.
I will wait for them to move on and kind of sidle up to their group.
Okay. They give you a look at first because pointy ears.
Right.
So, but they stop and look at you as you enter their group.
I heard you're having difficulty getting particular goods.
They look at each other for a second and then nod.
I work with a purveyor of rare and difficult items who is looking to bring, well, at least looking to see if it's worth the trouble coming all the way out here.
Well, I mean, we've got some things to trade. I mean, they all make the trip out here, so I mean, we're not we don't have dilithium or anything like that, or latinum. Well, not much latinum anyway.
You can get those sorts of things anyway. What is it you have to offer that makes you unique?
Well, most of us trade either handmade items or there is a mine on the planet, and a lot of the workers will pocket some of the ore, which is pretty valuable off-world in some uses.
What sort of ore?
It's well, it's used in, well, from what I understand, anyways, it's used in making pretty high-powered weaponry. The kind of stuff that is extremely illegal in most places. Even the Romulans don't like it. It's, well, the Romulans are the ones who are mining it, so they must not hate it entirely. But it's an illegal technology for most of the Federation, and even the Klingons don't like it. It's a disintegration type of weapon, beyond disruptors, which are bad, but it's an agonizing kind of weapon from what I understand. I've never seen one, but I guess they were made a long time ago. And the Romulans have been, tinkering with the ideas. We don't know what they're really doing with it, but it's used in that kind of weapon.
The Romulans are tinkering. Are they directly tinkering, or are they utilizing the resources they have at their fingertips?
Well, they're bringing the ore off the world. That's all we really know. They have us go and get the ore, and then they do whatever they're going to do with it. But we, some of us anyways, have an opportunity to get some of the stuff off world. Well, off to these people.
Interesting. I would have thought something that illegal would have been handled more locally, discreetly.
Well, the Romulans spend time here, but they don't really pay that close attention most of the time, unless something happens, and then they wipe out whole villages of Klingons. Or half Klingons.
Something that's illegal may be too risky, especially if the Romulans are discreetly doing whatever they're doing. They would know it came from here. Easily traced back. Dangerous for my employer and for... He just sort of gestures around. Perhaps something a little less deadly for all of us.
Possible. I mean, what are you looking for?
Information, trade secrets, I'm certain you have a wealth of people here that the Romulans are known for imprisoning anyone they see as a threat, be it physical, mental accomplishments.
Well, I mean, we have information, not a lot, but maybe we can help if it gets us some tula berries. The Veron T disruptor. That's the thing I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah, that's.
You spell that.
It's not really that relevant. The Veron,
Anyway.
Varon. It's from the episode "The Most Toys." They didn't make very many of them. But that technology is what the ore is used for.
Gotcha. That should be doable.
All right. Well, what exactly do you want to know? I mean, it's a prison. There's prisoners. There's minimum security, maximum security, and then there are some groups that have been given more leeway than others. There was a group of Klingons or half Klingons and such that was here, and then something happened, and the Romulans destroyed them.
How long ago was that?
A couple of years, maybe. He looks at a spot on his arm where he's got some tattoos marked. I've been here for 18. So yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. The Romulans were mad about something. I don't know what. But one of the Iridians stopped coming too.
Interesting.
So I wonder if it had something to do with that.
Taking people where they are.
Most likely, there is a lot of attempted smuggling off-world to and from. There's a number of people who tried to leave the world. Doesn't usually bode well for anyone because the night checks. When the Romulans find someone missing, they react harshly to anyone who may or may not know anything. Do you have anything else you want to ask specifically, or do you want to just make a roll?
I
mean, they're obviously open to some kind of negotiation or discussion at this point. So,
what about more recent? Anything in particular of interest in last year or so?
Well, there's a couple of new high security prisoners that have been brought in. I know of a couple, at least 3 or 4 that were brought in. One of them, I think, was executed recently. Not something we should really talk about, though. You want to make a roll to coerce them further? I will. You guys need some momentum anyway. So
yeah.
So this will be. I would argue that since you've been talking to them while you have either presence or insight, probably presence would be a better option, and command would be your other.
Command? I don't have commands. It's a terrible roll.
You have it, just not very good.
Right. I do have persuasion though.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. I rolled 2 of those. And we don't have any. Do we have any momentum at the
moment?
You have
3 momentum currently.
I will spend 1 of those for a 3rd die.
Difficulty is 2.
Glad I spent that because that was shit.
So you got 1?
I got
1. All right. You don't have any values yet, do you? Or any talents, any values?
No,
does not.
Because he was MIA for a while.
Okay.
So he didn't level up with everybody else.
Right. They're like, yeah, the three that I know of, two of them are in the compound to the west, and one of them is in the compound to the north. But I don't really know much more than that. I just know where they've been taken, just pretty much based on the patrols. And every now and then you'll see some things, but the kind of things we don't discuss around here and you don't really see. You know what I mean?
Of course. Do you know what these prisoners look like?
Nah.
Anything that sticks out about them?
I haven't personally seen them, not with a roll of 1 anyway.
Thanks.
I haven't personally seen them, but I imagine they're high-ranking Romulan officials, usually, that kind of thing, or enemies of the state. That's really what that's what we've all been accused of being, of course. But
well, as I said, anyone can be an enemy of the state if the Romulans try hard enough.
Right. They tend to mean it when they're in those facilities, though.
True.
Anyways, you let them know that we have things. We can get more information if we need it, but tulip berries.
Excellent. I will pass it on to my employer.
And they kind of nod and move on, trying to shuffle away from you in kind of a rapid fashion. After a few more minutes of tilling about, Tong finally reaches whatever deals or not deals he's going to make with the people that he's been distracting, and the four of you meet back up. I assume, disperse any information that you have. Thomas is, I don't know where they're located, but I know there's a Romulan. There are 2 Romulans and a Klingon who are being held in high security, but I don't know where they are. And I don't know who they are, but if you have any further information, perhaps we should take it from there.
I would presume they would keep the Romulans together.
Well,
those are likely the ones that are in the west. The Klingon probably in the north. Apparently, there were 4 brought in recently. One has been.
Well, since our immediate objective was a Romulan contact, I think we probably should make our way towards the west then. Seems like our most likely opportunity. Plus, it's 2 prisoners for the price of 1. Silva's gotten the uniform, so we can move on from there. Let's sneak off into the woods, get changed, and make our way in.
While we're changing, I am going to ask him, okay, who are we after? This person must be pretty important, given our presence here, but you've been skipping on the mission briefings. Mind telling us what we're doing here? Exactly.
Starfleet has several contacts in the Romulan Empire. One we've had a decent amount of rapport with. The Europa has in particular. She has gone missing. We are looking for her in particular and any of her additional contacts.
And what about the rest of these political prisoners? We're just leaving them?
I don't really have the ability to spring an entire planet worth of people. We're here for one mission.
Sounds like a lack of creativity to me, but you're the boss.
We'll rescue whoever we think is the most advantageous to the Federation at this time. Freeing this world from being a prison camp is another job altogether.
I suppose. That's all I wanted out of that scene, really.
Right. Anybody else have anything they want to do? All right. Back aboard the ship is a good time for anyone that wants to have a conversation with anyone else. So if anyone has anything they want to do, otherwise I will have Harris go talk to the captain.
Nope.
I would like to. It does not have to be right now. But at some point before we get to the actual court scene, I would like to have a conversation with Ambrose about finally promoting Yesbath, because this keeps being not a thing.
Right.
And Dasavi would like to do that, but well, she has the opportunity. So
there probably will not be an actual court scene because that's not how this is supposed to work.
Right.
But
before we get to whatever the resolution of that is,
I gotcha.
well, she's still in a position to give the promotion.
Right.
I'd like to do that.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do Harris arriving in the captain's, or asking the captain for a conference in the ready room to present his findings, unless the captain is somewhere else he'd rather meet.
Space.
Yeah, that works.
All right. So Harris comes into the ready room. His uniform is particularly tidy at the moment. Yezabeth is there as well, as his attaché. She's carrying the documents, or at least the pads. There's a handful of them. What's that?
Yeah, because each data pad only has holds one document.
Yeah. They're only a single page, and you have to.
Yeah, you have to hold a stack of them.
Right. Captain, I'm prepared to make my recommendation if you're prepared to hear it.
I suppose I am, Lieutenant Commander. This seems to be quite a thorough investigation you've put on here, much larger in scope than I would have initially understood it to be.
Well,
It seems you've questioned half my crew.
Yes, sir. I think it is important to make sure that I have as much information as possible before making a recommendation of this nature to Starfleet. In my investigation, I attempted to determine whether or not the actions that the doctor or the executive officer of the Starship Europa were warranted, were avoidable, and if there was a pattern of repetition in this sort of behavior. My recommendation to Starfleet will be that there is significant findings to suggest that Commander Onaet be held accountable for the actions aboard that she did aboard the planet in regards to the Emil, and that the actions involving the Hidal, as well as other incidences aboard ship, show that there is a distinct pattern where the commander is not fit to be in command of a ship. I said that in the worst possible way I could. Unintentionally.
Well, Lieutenant Commander, I don't think anybody is going to argue that point with you. Lieutenant Commander Dasavi Onaet understands that she was placed in this position on a temporary basis because, well, as you know, we lost our previous captain and I was promoted to captain. It was never her intention to be in command in the first place. So I believe we have the parameters of this investigation of yours, and we all seem to be in agreement of the issue.
That's excellent to know.
The question comes down to how we proceed.
Well, as I said, Captain, my recommendation to Starfleet will be for a formal court-martial conveyance. What the court decides from there, that is up to them. My personal recommendation would be that Commander or Lieutenant Commander Onaet, Dr. Onaet, be retired from active duty. If the court decides there is a greater level of misconduct from there, any further punitive measures would be taken by the court. She would no longer be a Starfleet officer at that point, though. It is out of the hands of JAG.
Lieutenant Commander, have you served aboard a starship before?
I have served aboard 2 starships, but both in the capacity of diplomatic liaison or legal counsel.
Have you ever been in command?
I have not.
So this recommendation you're putting forth is purely based on academic assumptions.
Legal precedent.
Legal precedent. The law is an interesting weapon that society wields. One that cannot and should not be used as a one-size-fits-all bludgeoning blanket, especially when it goes against the betterment of what that society believes in. Would be my recommendation, Lieutenant Commander Harris, that you are in gross negligence of your duty to Starfleet, exercising such a drastic recommendation, course of action for a Starfleet officer, a doctor, and a person, a citizen of the Federation who has been exemplary up to this point and has only faltered in a position in which she never wanted to be placed in to begin with. You're free to make whatever foolhardy and amateur suggestions you may like, but I will have my own recommendations. One's based on more experience and practical observations.
Captain, I understand your reputation. I understand that you have a relationship with this doctor, but I would be in gross negligence of my duty as a Starfleet officer to allow a person in a position of command, whether she wanted to be there or not, to have free reign over the minds of others, regardless of your feelings. I will make my recommendation to the Admiralty, and I will note your disapproval of that recommendation.
Lieutenant Commander, I believe you made that recommendation long before you stepped foot on this ship. And so I don't believe I have any means to convince you otherwise. However, I want you to understand, as I think you already do, that this is an important case in your career, and I would hate for you to be embarrassed as to how it turns out.
Well, I believe a jury of the doctor's peers, or a tribunal isn't a jury trial.
Because Ambrose is actually, this is kind of what he was originally trained for. Can I make some sort of I'm trying to intimidate this guy. You need to stand down or you're going to embarrass yourself.
Right.
Could I make some sort of presence command role? I do have focus in composure, diplomatic relations.
I don't know if either of those really fully fits, but I would certainly allow the role. Let me see. Composure, inspiration, team dynamics, escape and avoidance wouldn't work. Hand-to-hand combat obviously isn't correct at the moment, although that could turn that way.
Recommend this.
I would say that a command and presence role would probably be the most ideal. I don't know that any of those focuses really are dead on. Composure, certainly you're trying to keep your composure. But since you're trying to intimidate him, I'm not sure that really fits.
Yeah. Yeah, diplomatic relations is different.
A little bit
from
different,
law.
yeah.
So I feel like there actually could be an argument made for diplomatic relations in sort of reverse engineering. Like, these are the things we don't do.
Yeah, that's
because
yeah, that's kind of where I was going, trying to poke some holes in
Sure.
his how he interprets the Starfleet Charter and his duty to represent and facilitate the representation of Starfleet and Federation ideals. I could make an argument for it.
I can allow
but
that.
I
yeah.
know it's not the strongest.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay.
I'm going to say because he's pretty set in his ways at the moment that his difficulty is going to be. I'm going to say it's 3, but I'm going to burn one of these because of the comment I was going to make a second ago, and make it 4. So.
Okay.
Also because you have a 16 to roll.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty good at this. And I don't expect him to be like, oh, well, you're right. Let's just drop this whole thing.
Right.
I'm not even really concerned if I succeed this. I just want it to be made.
Yeah.
So I will, I'll give you another threat for 3rd dice and give this a roll. Regular complication range?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the complication's already pretty obvious. So
yeah. Love it.
Nice. All right.
2 successes and a complication.
A complication regardless of. All right. So he what was the last thing that we said? Oh yes. Well, Captain, I appreciate your position. And I'm grateful that you're looking out for my career. But a tribunal at this point is going to be the deciding factor in whether or not I'm embarrassed. And he clearly cuts himself off. And you can sense that he is. The rest of that phrase would have been, I'm embarrassed or you are. He clearly cuts himself off, though. Like, that is not a thing he wanted to say. That is a thing that he felt and clearly was not the appropriate thing. He immediately regrets that thought even. But he's I believe that if there is nothing else you need, Captain, my duties aboard ship are complete.
Very well. I assume this means I will be getting my ensign back.
Ensign Hage has been a most valuable asset. I was glad to work with her.
I'm happy that we can accommodate you. Thank you, Ensign Hage.
No problem.
Well, I suppose we will be continuing this conversation in a more formal proceeding.
I look forward to it, Captain. And kind of nods, and as he heads out the door, he stops. Ensign Yezabeth.
Yes.
You did serve quite exemplary. If you ever have a desire to join the JAG, let me know. I'll recommend you.
I will keep that in mind. She'll give him finger guns awkwardly.
Yeah. He kind of smiles and shakes his head as he walks out the door. So now it is just Hage and Yezabeth. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to do there, but complication for that. What am I going to do for complication?
Do you want to talk about what just happened, or?
That's up to you guys. I just wanted,
Yeah, man.
Brian asking or Yezbeth asking?
No, that's Brian asking Jack.
Okay.
Otherwise she's standing there awkwardly.
if Yezbeth would want to bring something up, you're very much welcome to, but I think Ambrose is just trying to compose himself, wait long enough, because I assume we have to walk out the same door. Because are we in the conference room or the ready room?
Ready room.
Ready room.
Okay, so this is my place anyway, so I can just sit down. Yeah.
No, I don't think she should say anything.
No, I think he'll just walk over to that little bubble window behind the desk and without turning, just thank you, Ensign. You're dismissed.
Okay.
All right.
She will-
Back to the planet.
And actually, he's going to turn around and he's going to put in that call to Arlani.
Okay.
But we don't need to do that right now or if ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say anyway.
Yes. Yep.
We all do.
All right. So we cut the camera as Arlani comes up on camera, and we go back to the planet. Tong and I missed an entire bullet point here. Okay. So no, that's fine. This is where it's supposed to be. You guys are making your way to the west. Do you have a plan? So what the structure that you're going to, you guys get to an overhanging bluff. You can see the facility from where you are. There's a main entrance that goes into the complex. It is guarded by 2 Romulan sentries, and a lot of looks like biometric stuff, which at the moment appears to be powered down. And whenever a prisoner enters or exits, their numbers are checked against a pad that the guards are using, and then they're sent in or sent out, depending what they were trying to do. As you're looking over the bluff, you can see into the facility's main structure. It's surrounded by a large fence. The structure itself has no windows. It is a big concrete structure. You're guessing it probably goes several stories underground, since it's only 1 story above ground. But it is pretty massive. There are a couple of spots where there is like thin plumes of smoke coming out of chimneys, likely to be some kind of like energy station that uses a more primitive technology than what Romulans would normally use, largely probably because the energy scramblers that are here would interfere with a lot of Romulan technology, just like they do for yours. Do you have anything you guys want to do before you start? This is either where you're going to use your uniforms or you're going to sneak in, or both. So
I think we're definitely using the uniforms. Unless
for sure. Peckett will say it may be better to wait until after count. Apparently, the Romulans get quite upset if count is not quite.
Not a bad idea. We should also be aware that they keep track of the prisoners' biometric chips. Maybe we can set up some kind of baffler to fool their sensors. Do you think that's something you can do, Tom?
Well, obviously we don't have biometric chips, so I suppose I could try to make something that disrupts that scan, but it would probably just, they'd realize that their scan isn't getting anything. I don't think I can make us biometric chips with, I don't know.
Well, I would assume that the biometric chips put out some kind of signal, some maybe RFID signal or something similar. Maybe we can set up a tricorder to do that. To send out a response to the request for information.
With the dampeners, would that be feasible?
possibly, but at the moment you can take a quick notice and see that the scanners that do the biometric scanning are currently turned off anyways. So if you were to go in and out right now, and there are people are going in and out without being scanned, they're just using uniforms at the moment. And then Thomas would chime in. If we wait until after, Silva, you got the uniforms from prisoners. If we wait until after the count, that may be too late because there are going to be 4 prisoners missing.
That is a fair point. Well, now or never.
But the missing ones would be all the way back there, not ones.
We don't know what facility they actually go to. That is a concern. Okay. But we can.
This is supposed to be like maximum security. It doesn't seem very secure.
The interior is maximum security, or there's maximum security in the interior.
Okay. Quick question.
It's easy to get into
Probably
prison. It's hard to get out.
Do you know if there's other Ferengi on this planet? Because all of you could probably blend in fairly well, but the lobes kind of give it away.
That's a fair point.
I don't know if I could just walk through the front door and be like, I'm supposed to be here. Oh, I'm so sad I'm a prisoner. I don't think that's going to work. Maybe we should just scale the wall. That's why we brought all this stuff, right?
That's definitely a possibility.
I say we, Teketh and Silva, you two will go in the main entrance and see what you can find. I'll go with Tong. We'll go over the wall and see if we can disable the energy generation. The two of you, pointing to Teketh and
that I can do.
Teketh and Silva. We're going to need a backup plan to get off this planet. It's a maximum security planet. It's easy to get onto, it's hard to get off of. It's easy to get into these buildings. It's going to be hard to get out of them. I know that Mr. Tong's generous uncle says he'll still be in orbit, but you make a valid point, Silva, that he may not be. Get into the base, see what we can find. We'll split up. If you can find any kind of way off the world, or if you can find our prisoners, then Tong and I will go directly to disabling energy, this energy dampening field if we can.
Well,
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right. The group splits. Let's go with Silva and Teketh first. You guys make your way down to you've got your uniforms on, your prison uniforms on, and you head up to the guards, who don't seem to particularly pay a whole lot of attention to the two of you.
Real quick, just before we arrive to the guards, Silva's going to take a shot at Teketh, and she's going to say, just act like a Vulcan. You're very good at that.
Indeed, I am.
Go ahead.
Oh, the entirety of Starfleet.
You arrive.
One little Ferengi.
So one little Ferengi. You guys reach the guards, and they, as you get close, they gesture to free to stop, and names and IDs. And then the other guy's like, just turn around. And they quickly scan something, the numbers on your back, and look at the data that they've got in their hand, and two out, two in. This one's actually from the northern province. What are you doing here? Points to Teketh.
They said something about the northern building was being renovated. I don't. The Romulans told me to come. I go where I'm told, lest they become upset.
Logical as always. Go inside. And they don't do much else. They let the two of you in. You head up to the main. You're in the main courtyard area. There's a main structure building, and there are a lot of outbuildings. The outbuildings are clearly the lower security sections of the building. The main building is much higher security. You can see the locking mechanisms and everything else.
Real quick, can you have him just say what her name is supposed to be? Silva's, the person she's pretending to be.
Give me 1 second.
Do they care about names? You're prisoner 136C792.
Fair.
Yeah.
When he says that, she'll look back at him. She'll say, family name.
Nice. All right. The two of you managed to make it in past the guards, past the gate. Tong and Harris make their way toward, or not Harris, Thomas. Harris is a different guy. Make their way towards the back of the facility.
Big situation here. Oh no.
Yeah. Click and click.
The complication.
Yeah. The complication will come in another form. Thomas you get to the back wall, and Thomas says, all right, we're going to go over here. Takes a stick and tosses it on the fence. The stick immediately vaporizes. Any thoughts?
Let's not do that.
I agree.
Okay. He starts like rummaging through his pack, starts trying to pull things out. Okay, so this is obviously being powered by something, probably internal. So we're not going to be able to turn it off until we get inside, but we might be able to create some sort of temporary feedback system within the current of this fence and make a temporary safe area. I need something conductive and a small power source. Let's rummaging through things. I assume we have phasers. We obviously have a tricorder. Whether it works or not. Is this a situation?
Your packs probably have at least Type 2 phasers. I wouldn't think you could carry the phaser rifles, but the Type 2 phasers.
Right. Is this a situation where the dampening field is draining power or just scrambling the output communication so that nothing works?
It is dampening power. So whatever power is going through this giant thing is substantial.
Okay. Yes, I can work with that, actually, because this has to be outputting an enormous amount of power to get through the dampening field. So if we can tap that into probably the tricorder, I wouldn't want the phaser to explode. If we tap it into the tricorder and create some sort of
a false loop.
Right. We might be able to siphon some of the power out of this into a device that is less shielded against the dampening effect, and create a small pocket of interference.
I don't need a lecture on it, Ensign. Go ahead, or Lieutenant. Go ahead and do it.
Of course. Okay. He'll pull out the tricorder, take the back panel off, probably strip some metal from some other piece of equipment he pulls out. And starts trying to connect things.
All right. Give me a daring and engineering roll. Difficulty will be 2. Electroplasma power systems would apply.
Tong needs to level up in daring if he's going to be a secret agent.
That is probably true.
Because we're not in imminent threat of being bludgeoned to death by Nausicaans, could I just take my time and make this control?
Yeah, you can do that. The Agent Thomas will be pressuring you the entire time. So let's go ahead and say the difficulty. Let's go ahead and say the threat range was up by 1.
Okay. It's complication range 2. I have my focus. What's the difficulty here?
Difficulty is 3 because of the amount just because you're dealing with so much power and.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a fancy talent or anything that lets me do. No. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use one of those momentum.
Okay.
See how this goes.
Oh, nice. Holy crap, Tong.
That's a Tong roll.
So that is
all right.
That is
5 successes.
5 successes up for Tong.
Yeah, buddy.
3 completed. 3 was the difficulty. So you've got 2 additional momentum. Do you want to do anything with that momentum right now, or do you want to store it?
I want to use the energy drawn out of this fence to actually power the tricorder.
Okay, to overpower the tricorder?
Yeah, so that it actually works.
I'll do that. Yeah. Go ahead and use 1 momentum for that. And whilst it is connected anyways, you can certainly overpower the tricorder and use its sensors. Once it comes off of the fence, it will no longer probably. You'll have maybe some limited time where it will still power.
Okay, I can't like make a little battery pack or something.
The tricorder
that's fine.
Doesn't really have any way to hold that much power, but you can certainly run it through the thing though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fine. So while we're doing this, he can do a quick scan of what is around and check and see if we got any notification of Broll double crossing us.
There is a notification going out from Broll's ship It was a attempt to communicate, but it was abruptly cut off before there were any words said. There was the communication channel opened and then it cut off immediately. So there was no data sent, but the communication channel had been opened, which is extremely strange.
Okay.
You also have the ability to scan the facility if you need to, or scan whatever you want to scan, because you have the tricorder. It is functional at the moment.
Yeah. Let's see what we're working with. Let's do a scan of the area.
Give me a quick science and control.
Okay.
Difficulty will be 0 because of the tricorder and all of its redundant systems, being that how it's actually functioning at all this.
All right. 2 successes.
2 successes. You have 2 momentum. You can ask 2 questions. There are a number of life signs. There are definitely some security systems. You can see where since Thomas's first thing was find out where this energy source is coming from. It is coming from the 3rd floor underground. You can find it, no problem. That's free. You have 2 questions you want to ask. You get a quick layout of the building too.
Okay. Just taking some notes. With Thomas's help, because again, he hasn't told us too much about who we're looking for. But with his help, can we identify where our target is?
Okay. He goes through real quick and says, well, there are no Romulan females in this facility. However, there's a Romulan male and a Klingon male on level 6. Well, I guess that's what we're doing.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, this seems to be the power source for, most of the important things. We know that. And I guess these are our targets. Also, Brol made a call to somebody, if you care.
He just kind of grimaces.
Okay, well, we should probably go inside now before the tricorder explodes from all this power.
All right, let's go. You guys snip through the wiring and get inside without being vaporized, which is an impressive feat. All right, so the 4 of you can meet back up in the. Well, you don't need to meet back up, do you? Let's go ahead and do some quick jumping ahead with this. So you guys both groups have espionage, I think, right? Does Silva has espionage?
Silva has espionage, yeah.
All right, and I know Teketh has espionage.
Teketh does.
So let's go ahead and do 2 rolls. Let's do one with Tong with Thomas assisting, or vice versa. I think Tong should be the one doing the roll, but and then one with Teketh and Silva. Whichever one of you guys wants to do the main roll. These are espionage rolls to basically get into the facility without being detected and get into the main levels of the building without being detected. So getting past the primary security system at the front and being able to get inside and move around.
It's probably insight security.
Sure. I would take that. I would also take daring and security.
Do you want to go ahead and roll an assist?
Should we strategize? My insight's phenomenal. My security.
So Tong, you're going to make your primary roll first, then I'll have while they're figuring out what they want to roll, Tong, you can make the roll, and then I will have the agent assist.
Are all of us together, or are we operating as 2 teams?
You're currently still operating as 2 teams.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I imagine Tong would go about this like he went about this whole thing. He's not really a secret agent. He's not a rogue. He doesn't have proficiency in the stealth skill, but he can hack into computers and fool sensors and whatnot. So I think he would approach this from an engineering standpoint, and try to mess with sensors and blind spots and reflections and all of that. Could I make an engineering roll, or are you specifically looking for some sort of physical sneakiness?
I could do engineering. That would work if you could. Because you have the espionage skill, I would allow that. The espionage focus, I would allow that.
I do not have
you
an
don't, do you?
espionage focus. No.
You do have a value, though.
Yes.
So
Secret Agent Tom.
So yeah, I'll still allow it. I'll just raise the difficulty by 1.
Okay. So I would say with the scan of the facility that we just got, instead of doing the rogue thing and just trying to stick to the shadows, I think he could actually look at the map of the facility and find where the best place is to go, see where different sensors are so that they could move around them, and maybe tap into them, maybe use what's remaining of the tricorder to send out some sort of confusing signal.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to hamper myself here and say this is definitely a daring engineering roll.
Okay.
Okay. Normal complication range?
Yes. And I unfortunately rolled a 19, so I did not help at all.
Awesome. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty would be 3 because I raised it by 1.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need another die there. I don't know if I want to blow my value on this just yet.
I think because I'm gonna go ahead and say because this is sneaking around, I'm gonna up the complication range by 2. So it'd be 7. It'd be 18, 19, 20.
Okay. I'm really worried about this roll. I'll take another one that we have 3 momentum. Yeah, I'll take one of those momentum. Target value 14 without a focus. Oh boy. Well, we don't get enough failed rolls in this show, so let's see how it goes. 1 with a complication. Love it.
All right. That's actually 2 complications because Thomas got one also. So
awesome.
The 2 of you are moving through the compound, and I think before we get into what the complication actually is, let's have Silva and Tech make their roll too, because I think what they do, what they get, can affect this.
So Teketh will look over the sort of situation. I am not as familiar with security systems as I am with computer systems. Perhaps you should take lead here, and I will offer what assistance.
No problem. The thing about Romulan systems is that, and she begins talking about how inferior they are to Federation systems, just to bug Teketh. And she'll spend a momentum on this roll. C opens up just like a glove. I got 4 successes.
Nice.
Teketh aids, so
Teketh does not
Teketh
aid.
does not help at all.
Teketh looks on very interested and offers nothing useful to the conversation.
Just raises an eyebrow. Fascinating. I assume you wanted the 2 momentum to go to the pool for the moment, since there's not a whole lot else you can do at the moment. But remote, note that you do have 2 momentum there if you want to do. You have any find information stuff you want to do with it. With that though, Tong and Agent Thomas are making your way through. You've gotten through the first layer of security, but one thing that Tong had not accounted for was a DNA level scanner of some sort, and as you guys pass through one of the archways inside the building, an immediate alarm begins sounding, and things start. You hear large locks clicking and sounding. You also, the 2, Teketh and Silva, can also hear this, and there are a number of jackbooted foot stomps heading your way. Agent Thomas pushes you into the room and then pulls out his phaser and steps to the side, powers it up. You can see him powering it up pretty much as far as it'll go. We haven't got the power dampeners offline. This will have to do. Go get the power dampeners offline. At which point, some green disruptor blasts begin shooting past you. You can either stay and fight, or you can run down the corridor where you are at, which is near the stairwells to go down.
He was told to deal with the power dampeners, and he is not combat oriented, so he is just going to get as low as he can as a Ferengi and just like scurry down to that power dampener.
All right. I'm going to try to shoot you.
Awesome.
My difficulty is going to be higher because I am trying to shoot you. So I'm going to spend a threat to roll 3 dice. Rid of that. And I fail. So a blast goes flying over your head and just narrowly avoids your left lobe. You can feel some of the heat coming off your left lobe as you make your way down the stairs, and you hear Thomas say something that is obscene for television and fire back. Teketh and Silva, the alarms are going off. You can see in the far distance, there's a number of doors that have opened from what looks like a barracks area. And there are a number of Romulans who are in some kind of armor heading towards the back of the structure. Away from you.
Is there somewhere that we can duck out of the way and not be seen?
Sure. There's a couple rooms. You got one that says marked lower level access, and one that is administration.
We'll go to the lower access, lower level.
Teketh will look briefly at the administration and then follow suit.
Right. You guys head down into the lower level access areas, and the alarms are sounding. You guys are heading down that way. Tong, you were also heading down that direction, but at the other end of the building. The stairwells kind of begin to, as you go down a couple of flights, there's a couple of long corridors that actually connect front and back, and there's another set of stairs that go in the middle between them. You get down to the second level, and you can just barely hear phaser fire above and in the distance from Teketh and Silva. And you see, as you make it down to the bottom of the stairs, you see an exhausted Ferengi slam himself against the far wall of the staircase. The stair well is the word I'm looking for. Probably like 200 feet down from where you are at the other end of the building. Tong has, in his black outfit, black turtleneck, slammed into the wall.
I think Silva has the phaser pointed at him for a moment, and then she's like, "Tong."
Silva, yes, good. Things went bad. Ferengi DNA is very difficult to turn into Romulan DNA for scanners, and so we should probably deal with all of this.
Oh, well, they're already on high alert. I don't think turning off the alarm is going to help much.
No, we need to get to the dampener.
Agreed.
Where is the dampener?
Fortunately, I have it right here. We need to go down this hallway, make another left. There's right after that, and here.
All right, I'll take point. Teketh, you watch his back, and if we run into anybody, I'll divert them. You two continue on.
Very well.
All right. You guys make your way down the stairwell. And as you are making your way through, I want to jump back to the ship real quick. Aboard ship, what is Ambrose presently doing? You've had your conversation with the Admiralty, and it's getting late on the ship. So are you still on duty, doing anything else, or where would you be at this particular point in time? Having had a long day.
Maybe having
Yes.
a conversation with either Amathi or either of Kendall's characters.
I Kendall, I really want to get you into
You're
the game.
good. You're good. Continue the narrative. I'm fine. I like listening.
I do have stuff for you at the very end, if nothing else.
I'm good.
Yeah, Ambrose has had a long day. He knew this was coming. He's probably spent most of his day like trying to tail what Harris was doing. And then there was that meeting. And then there was the call to Aralani, which I imagine took a while. It wasn't just like a 5 minutes. Hey, bro, how you doing? Don't be mean to my girl. No, this was probably like a 2-hour conversation with multiple admirals coming on and all kinds of stuff. Like he's pulling strings because he knows people. He's pulling strings. He's putting on different political pressures. Flexing all of the many medals that he has. I think really he would just go to. I think he would just go to his quarters. I mean, I know it's not very exciting. It doesn't tie anyone else in unless anyone has anything they want to do.
I got something.
Feel free to come to him. But I think after all this, he's just going to go. He's going to go to his room. He's going to put on some classic Bajoran orchestral music, and he's just going to. I forget what the drink is, but he's going to get an
adult beverage.
Yeah, he's going to get a Bajoran drink of some sort.
Right.
It's like in the clear cup. It looks like a sunrise. Like it starts yellow and fades to like a purple, and it's got this little mist coming off. It's something you would get at Quarks.
Right. Just before you get to that, and before you head into that moment, that is what Ambrose is clearly looking forward to, and you're looking down at your pad and going over any other numbers you could call, any more favors you could pull, any other strings you could do, and you're not really paying super close attention when you bump into another person who isn't paying very close attention, and that will be Lieutenant Tana Sul. And you guys can have a little conversation real quick here, but I'm going to cut it off after a second. So,
Ensign Sul. Correct.
Lieutenant. Oh, sorry.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Yes, sorry. She was looking down at a pad and she's just suddenly looking up at the captain now.
Which is also what the captain was doing.
My apologies. It's been a long day. I apologize. I haven't had the opportunity to speak with you sooner. Normally, I would have made a point to welcome a new crewman aboard my ship.
It's quite all right. You look a little harried, so I'm not going to push any introductions, but it is nice to meet you, sir.
Well, I thought I was keeping myself a bit more composed than that.
I'm just good at reading people. Makes it easier to run. She gives him a slight smile at that.
It's a good skill to have. With
the smile, as you see the smile come across her face, you get a distinctive pressure in your mind, Ambrose. The pressure, it's familiar. There's a slight nursery rhyme faded in the background, and you immediately get this sense of imminent danger, and just fear, overwhelming fear. You don't get a whole lot of other flashes than that, but you get a sense that it is not a direction necessarily, but you get a sense that there's certainly an urgency, and that you have a kind of a need to go somewhere, but you don't really know exactly where it is yet.
Mm. Yeah, and Ambrose like rubs his temple and transitions over to like pinching the top of his nose, and then very quickly like stops. I'm sorry, Ensign, I need to be going. And he immediately turns on his heel and starts walking back to the bridge.
Lieutenant, and then she keeps walking.
Who I imagine Avi has had a long day and maybe not actually in. I don't know how if she's still XO at this point, if she's under investigation. He would call up the bridge
because there's been the recommendation made, but there's been no formal charges filed yet. She is still the XO.
Okay. Are you in the big chair, Dasavi?
Yeah, if she's on the bridge, then yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna call up Dasavi. Yellow alert. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Acknowledged.
The ship promptly goes to yellow alert.
Yep.
All right. Back on the planet, the three of you are making your way down towards the energy dampening machinery area. As you guys come down the corridor, you come around the corner and you see there are a number of guards. There are 4 guards currently standing in front of a large secure door that is clearly the entrance to where the energy dampening systems controls would be. Let's go for initiative. You guys can go first. You do have phasers. They do work. You don't get a number. You do get a limited number of shots on them, but I'm going to say it's 10 to the moment until the power dampener is down.
Okay.
Okay. So we
don't miss a lot.
So basically, we turn the corner. They're there, and we're immediately in a fight.
Yeah.
Yes, but you guys have the initiative.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because they're not expecting necessarily, but you guys get the first initiative.
I think this so poorly.
So we alternate, I believe.
Yeah, it's just you guys decide who goes first, and then from there
I'll go ahead and go first. Getting the knowing that this was part of the plan, Silva is going to hide behind something and do a wide beam stun on them. She has so I'm going to set the phaser to area. I'm going to use my ambush tactics talent. When I make an attack, when you succeed in an attack against an enemy who is unaware of your presence, or add to the amount of stress the attack inflicts. Let me just double check what area does.
You basically, if you can hit an additional target for each something you roll, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will go ahead and roll to attack.
Area attack affects every creature or object within reach of the target plus 1 additional target within close range for each effect rolled. They would basically be. You would need an effect to hit each additional one, but you could hit each additional one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and spend a momentum on that. Control. I have focus and hand phasers. That's 3 successes.
So that's a hit. Since the 2 hit is 2.
Yep. And the damage on that 2 phaser, plus security. There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus. It's 5 with 3 effects, right? I don't know. What are you doing with that momentum? Anything? They are wearing armor.
It didn't roll the extra bonus die, so hold on. Let me roll those real quick for the ambush tactics. Okay, that's 2 zeros. I'm sorry. What was the question?
So they are wearing armor. So what do you want to do with that? You have momentum. They are wearing armor.
Yeah, I'll spend the momentum on piercing.
Okay.
That is a total
5 with 3 effects. So, yeah. Okay. I assume you want to use the effects to hit hit the 3 additional targets.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You do. And all 3 targets go to the ground because that's how stun works.
Perfect. Silva will say it's just like shooting mock bats back home. And quick, get to the you two get to work. I'll keep a watch.
Aren't there 4 of them?
Oh, you're right.
So the first target hits 1. That's 1 damage.
Oh, and you got 3 additional.
With each effect. So you've hit all 4.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
I didn't catch that part.
And that just took them all down?
Takes them all down. Because you rolled 5 damage.
That's the quickest combat we've ever had.
Yeah. When you get good rolls, combat in this game is very fast.
Well, I'm used to your shenanigans with Ambrose having to fight like super Klingons that negate injuries and you have to
shoot them with a phaser. Don't go to hand to hand with them.
yeah, that's the thing. Melee in this game is awful.
Yeah.
No, I shot him first and that didn't work, so I charged him.
That's true. These are basic Romulans who are just wearing armor. So these guards are meant to go down.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Running inside.
You head up to the door, and it is clearly locked. So you're going to have to do a quick bypassing the security roll, which is either daring or control and security. I would also allow engineering with an increased difficulty.
Can I just turn around, look down, and take a key card off of the?
Yeah, I'll allow it. Sure.
I like he goes over to the panel, he takes out his screwdriver and clicks open the case and go, wait, there's an easier way to do it.
I like it. You quickly scan the card, the door slides open, and there's an energy control system in that room. There are also 2 other not guards, but there are 2 other people in that room who are shouting, "Oh dear God," or whatever it is the Romulans say these days.
These days.
What are you guys going to do? It is your actions.
Do these people look terrified or on the offense?
They're definitely taken aback. They don't have weapons on them that you can see. They are wearing technicians' clothing. So they're probably not security guards. That doesn't mean they're not going to fight. They're just not security guards. They are Romulans.
I would like to use my persuasion and convince them
to run into my knife quickly.
He ran into my knife.
Quickly, run into my knife
10 times. My friend out there easily dispatched your 4 armed. I don't think you really want to test what our weapons can do to this. And he just disdainfully points at their lack of armor.
They take a couple of give me a roll. Intimidation. Or whatever it is you got. Persuasion would work.
Yeah,
so you're making control or presence and command.
I get none of that either.
Well, you could argue for present security since you're holding.
I have slightly more of that. There. And I convince them with science that we will liquefy their insides with our laser guns.
No.
Damn.
That's not going to work.
Right. Well. We'll hope my presence focus. My persuasion focus. There we go.
Oh, and a complication.
Oh. Well then.
All right. Well, since it's my turn, the complication will result in one of them pulling out a knife. And then charging you. So
it's gonna go well.
Do that attack roll.
Since it's a hand-to-hand combat, you get to make a counter roll.
Yes.
Okay. What is my counter roll?
Well, you technically can only do that if you're wielding melee weapon, but
I mean, I'll pistol whip somebody.
Yeah.
Anything is a melee weapon if you try hard enough.
Right. I got a 1 to hit you, which is a failure. So you do still have to. You still do roll. Oh man, what's the roll? We've done hand to hand in a long time.
Yeah.
It's daring plus security.
Oh, it is a success. General start. Yes, that's correct though. Your roll. So go ahead and make that roll. Attacks.
Oh! Yeah.
2 successes. Melee opposed attacks, daring and security versus difficulty 1. Target wins the opposed task, resolves a successful counterattack. So you both succeed, but you succeed by more, so you get to counterattack.
Yeah.
Maybe spend one of those successes to disarm them.
Yes, I think that is a good plan. Can I do that? Is that a thing?
To do what? Sorry.
To disarm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Disarming requires momentum, but yes, you can. You have the momentum to do that.
Do we?
You have the momentum that you rolled from that roll.
Oh, right.
Disarm takes 2 momentum.
Takes 2 momentum. So you could use one of the other momentum to do that.
Spend one of the other momentum. Let's get that knife away from him.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and use that other momentum. Get
All right.
him.
You sidestep as he goes to jab at you, and you grab his arm and just muscle the knife out of his wrist with some kind of impressive judo chop kind of Starfleet maneuver. But you managed to disarm him. The knife goes skittering across the floor. It is one of the 3 viewers' turns.
Teketh looks relatively surprised at this.
At the disarming him or being attacked?
Yes. No, at the disarming.
It should be Tom, since I'm looking at the rear.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just opened the door, and then one of them charged Teketh.
Teketh said some things, and then one of them charged Teketh with a knife, pulling a knife. So
Yeah. Okay. But inside there's a whole machine room. There's terminals. That's where we need to be.
Yep.
But there are people there.
Correct.
Okay. This no. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can just take a shot, because I imagine I can't get past these people to those terminals if we're being assaulted in the doorway.
Yeah, you could go in there and start messing with the terminals, but you'd be exposed to the other one attacking you.
Yeah.
So, you could phaser one, you could run in, you could punch one, you could hold your action and not do anything. You could shoot the consoles.
Yeah, is one of them by a terminal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we need those terminals. I don't want to just start shooting terminals. That might be the terminal we need.
Right.
No, I think I would very quickly look back to Silva, who is like down the hallway, looking back. Tong is not a combat character, but I think there's not much else to do.
You could start hacking on your turn. Turn off the. What? He could start hacking, doing the roll to complete to turn off the dampers.
Right. It just exposes him to being attacked. He can do that, but
you're going to be exposed to being attacked anyway.
Pretty much.
I say go for it.
Yeah, that was his plan. I think he was assuming that Silva would cover him while he did that, but Silva's
I can't go
looking
again
in the other direction.
I can't go again on this turn. I already went.
Yeah.
So
we've all already went.
No, I mean, this is your turn. This is your first turn.
No, my first turn was opening the door.
Well, I assumed that we were basically starting the whole round over again with these characters. So the first round would have gone to the Romulan. Well,
all right.
The door opening and the Romulan attacking is basically the first turn and a half. So
okay. Yeah, if that guy's been disarmed, if the other one hasn't pulled out a weapon, yeah, I think Tong is. It's more interesting this way anyway. Tong is going to again get real short and just kind of rush past the first one towards a console, get to the console, turn over to the other guy, and just do that Ferengi sharp teeth bared hiss. Just
okay. And start typing from a crouched position.
Yeah.
I like it. There's like a planet with some lightning, and you've immediately put on a fur jacket, a fur vest, and started typing. All right. That goes to my action. I'm going to judo chop.
Do you want me to roll anything or?
Not for that, because that's you definitely get over there. Like, do you want to try to intimidate him away from you, or do you just want to start hacking the computer?
I think I would just start hacking.
All right. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So then we'll do a quick roll. I needed to create some NPCs that I could just click buttons and roll, but I did not do that. Whoops. Roll 2d20. One of them leaps at you, and he tries to grab you away from the machine. I got one success. You go ahead and try to counter that real quick.
This is on Tong?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, boy. Fitness. What is it again? I know I just said
Fitness security?
It is it fitness or is it daring security?
Fitness,
Oh, sorry. I rolled daring security.
It's fitness if you're unarmed.
Yeah, melee is daring and security. They don't really get into beyond that. There's range and there's melee, so it's a melee attack. So it's daring and security.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think in the Klingon book they do change it, but I'm not sure.
Daring security. Yeah, because there's not a lot that you actually use fitness for.
The thing
it affects your damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Daring security. That's not great, but we'll do it. No complication, regular difficulty. Target value of 11. Awesome.
Nice.
No successes and a complication.
The Romulan grabs you and kind of pushes you to the side. You've hit a couple of the buttons. You've basically bypassed the first level of security, but he pushes you back. And what's a good complication? He pushes you back, and then I get to roll a strike. So, what's damage on a melee?
It's 2
plus fitness, right?
Yeah, it was. I don't believe it has like. It's just security plus 1.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you're right.
It's not tied to fitness. I'm not sure what you.
I don't know where I got that from either.
I think the thing is with the attribute rolls is they're very fluid, so you could make the argument for fitness.
Yeah.
Regardless, but yeah.
1-2 damage is all he does. So with the complication, he does 2, and then he's now standing between you and the sensor, the machine, and he pushes a lock button, so it is now locked. The terminal is secured. You did manage to get in a little bit, so you can do what you need to do, but now you have to get past that security lock. So
I will. Are we back to me?
We're back to the players, so it's either you or Teketh can go.
Teketh, if you want to go, you're welcome to. If not, I can come in and blazing.
Why don't you? No, it should be just you, because Teketh was essentially top of round.
Yeah, if we started the round.
Yeah.
Silva will yell, Tom, and fire her phaser at the back of the Romulan.
The one the one that's past the other so Teketh and Tong and the Romulan, which comes out to Rom. Teketh and the Romulan are behind. Sorry, you know what I mean. Tong and the Romulan are behind Teketh and the other Romulan. So do you want to shoot the Romulan that's in front with Teketh, or shoot past Teketh and the Romulan to hit?
I am far more concerned about Tong surviving than I am about Teketh.
All right. So the difficulty goes up. The difficulty is up by 1 from shooting through melee.
Okay. I will spend a momentum.
Although it really should be complication goes up by 1, but whatever.
I mean, you could use the cover rules, which have an effect-based thing, but it's up to you.
Well, cover is a roll against damage, basically.
Yeah. But I spent a momentum. I got 2 successes, which is not enough.
Is not enough.
If the difficulty is higher.
Let's see.
So-
So let's do the. What does that roll there? We'll do it as the other thing is higher. The whatnot. The complication. So what is that number that you actually rolled there? I can't see it.
The
0.
19. It goes
All right.
up.
So it goes up by 1. So that would be a complication. It does hit the Romulan. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Does it hit Tong too? That's exciting.
Possibly. I was thinking it was going to hit the console behind and have some sparks go flying.
Okay.
So
So
that's,
I,
go ahead.
I believe technically I still have it set to area since I forgot to switch it over. So it might hit everybody.
That's usually declarative at the start of the session, but it does at the start of the attack. But either way,
that's 5 to hit. That's 5 damage.
Right. That Romulan goes down, and as he goes down, the phaser blast continues a little bit longer than normal and hits the console behind it, blowing it up and showering sparks everywhere. Let's do 2. Somebody roll 2 of the combat dice for me, since I have a harder time doing that.
Where does go? Challenge dice?
Challenge dice. Yeah, just roll 2, and that's how much damage Tong will take from the flying sparks and debris. 3.
You get it?
So Tong, you are covered in sparks and debris as some well-placed rocks come flying out of the console and smash you. So you'll take 3 stress.
Tong's not looking good.
Oh boy.
All right, that brings us back to both Romulans have gone. Everyone else has gone, right? So top of the round is the players. Anyone of you else wants to go?
Won't be me. Somebody else go.
The Romulan that was in front of me, between me and the console, is stunned. He's down?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Tong has taken a lot of damage out of his total of 9 stress available. So he's a little stunned right now. But his intention would be to stand up and try to get back to work. The console's been exploded.
Starfleet consoles, the Federation, or Star Trek consoles, they always work afterwards. They just don't work real well.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Just have to move the console rocks out of the way.
Yeah, just move the rocks out of the way and slap it a couple times, and the lights behind it come back on. There's a guy with a flashlight moving around underneath it. Go ahead and give me a roll to bypass the security and start doing your work. I'm gonna because of the way the situation worked out last time. You already knew you could. You've already seen how the console was set up and laid out, so you get an advantage. So your difficulty is going to be 2 because of the locked screen. So we would have been 3. It's 2 because of the locked. It would have been 3 because of the locked screen. It's 2 because you had the advantage of having seen the screen already. So
okay. Would this be control engineering or would this be daring engineering?
depends on how much time you want to take doing it. If you want to make it fast, really fast, you can do daring. If you want to take a little bit more time and focus on it, then I could say control would work.
You know what? It's the worst roll of the 2, but I think daring makes more sense. So Tong is going to like heavy-handedly grab the side of the console and pull himself up with a grunt. You see he's got a burn on the side of his cheek from where the console exploded, and a little trickle of blood coming down from that tattoo on his forehead. He's a little stunned, and he wobbles a bit as he stands up and gets to the console and tries to focus. Probably looks back at Silva and Teketh, mostly Silva, and turns around and tries to get back to work. But he is clearly dazed and trying to work as quickly as possible so that he doesn't get killed. Okay, daring. Engineering. This is electroplasma power systems, right?
Yes.
Okay. Difficulty 2.
Yep.
I will take that momentum, regular complication range.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Nice.
2 successes.
2 successes. After a few seconds of Tong poking at the console for, and rapidly beeping things, there's a distinctive sound of something powering down. The lights go dim for a few seconds, and the systems on your phasers switches. So now you've gone from being on a higher setting using more power to just a stun. You are now on a kill setting. You will want to adjust that before you shoot anybody else. But the phasers are the energy dampening field in the area is now offline.
Okay, I think I got it.
That brings me to me, and I will attack Teketh with the Romulan who is already attacking Teketh, or whatever his name is. Roll 2d20. And I got 1 success.
As did I.
All right, so he hits. Let's see. $46 is 2 damage. 2 distress. The Romulan, you had grabbed his wrist and disarmed him, and he takes a twisting motion and tries to step into you, and it gives you that like a back elbow, and catches you right on the inside of the jaw. You still have control of his wrist. I mean, kind of, but you're not grappling. But
Right.
catches you in the chin. It is your choice. Excuse me. It is PC's turn. Tong has already gone.
I'm going to put my phaser up to kill, and I'm going to level it at the Romulan, and I'm going to say, "You hear that, hombre? That's the sound of a phaser going to the kill setting. Surrender now, and you'll get out of this alive." I'd like to try to intimidate him.
Sure. Give me a roll.
Can I do security for my attribute since I'm being intimidating and angry?
Sure. Security is one of those is the one attribute in this game that is way overused, but yes.
I mean, it's overused in security situations. If you want me to roll command, I can roll command.
No, it's fine. It makes sense.
Okay. I will give you a threat to roll another die. I do not have any focuses that apply to this. 2 successes.
I assume you're using rolling presence and command. Or presence and security, I mean.
Security, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
That's what I meant to do.
Yeah. 2 successes. Yeah, he kind of tries to surrender, puts his hands up and kind of steps back and relaxes.
Okay. Does that end the combat round?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll look to Tom. You okay, Tom?
I'll be fine.
All right. I'll keep an eye on this joker. Get to work.
Does this console room cover anything other than the power dampener?
I mean, there's a multi-purpose station that you could probably configure to do other things if you wanted to, scan the facility, that kind of sort of thing.
I would like to do that.
Well, Tong is actually. I got a scan of the facility. The power dampener is down. I'll try to do more here, but I guess we need to go and get those people now.
Can you find an escape ship? Where can you find where those are?
I can look in on that. There's a Romulan and a Klingon down on level 6. I'm just gonna throw the tricorder over to Silva, which has the map on it.
Okay, perfect. She'll look to Teketh, and she'll say, "Can you Vulcan nerve pinch?" Oh wait, you're not a Vulcan, dang it!
I did a good job. When she turns to Teketh, he has stepped back out of the door a bit and is presently stripping down one of the other guards and changing
Okay,
his armor
sounds good.
and taking his key card and all that.
All right.
Love it.
All right.
I'll Kirk chop the guy, knock him out if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Come down the Kirk hammer.
Yeah.
The single fist of doom, the ridge hand of doom. So all right.
No, you got to go full Kirk hammer, like double
yeah.
hand that, boom, straight to the neck.
Straight to the meatiest part of the neck.
Before we leave, I will take the 4 that were outside of the door, bring them into the console room, and kind of stash them away in a corner so that anybody walking by isn't going to see them immediately.
All right. So Tong is staying behind, right? Is that what I heard?
That was his intention.
Okay. Tong is staying behind.
It's a
to do the things.
stupid idea, but that
Sure.
was his intention.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then Teketh and Silva are going to head down in to find out where the prisoners are. So that is happening. We were going to skip back over to the ship.
We don't have a line back to Thomas, do we? We don't have any communication.
You probably did actually bring communicators with you that were probably powered down until the dampeners went down. If they were going to be taken down. So you probably could try to reach out to him. But at the moment, you're not even seeing him on your tricorder. Like there are no human life signs other than the ones in his room.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Or he's not human.
Or he's not
Wait.
human. Yeah.
Changelings.
So
Yeah.
that just crossed my mind just like a second, just like as you were saying it, I'm like, could be a change. Like, what do I want to do about that? That could be fun later. But for now, the changelings show up as human though, don't they? When they're in human form.
Yeah, I think so.
Hiding as a vase somewhere in a
I think
corner.
it depends on the episode.
Yeah.
So head back to the ship. The ship was going to red alert, and the captain was on
Yellow
the bridge.
Yellow alert.
What is it? Red alert? Yellow alert.
Yeah.
So a color of alert. And the captain's on the bridge.
Alert.
Yes. It's a mauve alert. What are you guys going to do on the bridge?
Who's on sensors?
Yesbeth?
Yesbeth.
She'll take an ops station.
Ensign, full spectrum scan. I want a clear view of anything out there.
Aye, aye, Captain. And I'll begin doing a scan.
He's going to go over to his command chair and just start like looking through whatever logs he can, see if there's been any recent communications, see if there's any like recorded stellar phenomenon happening. Like he has no idea why he has this feeling. So she's going to scan. He's going to try to do what he can.
You don't need to make a roll if you're just doing local sensors because there's not much to find. And the momentum would help, but I don't want to give it to you. So you do a quick scan of the area. There's not a lot going on. I will
Captain,
take you over to this real quick. Go ahead.
I'd like to, Captain, any idea what we're looking for? I'm not seeing any cloaked ships. And what are we looking for?
He'll turn to Sabi, look back to Yesbeth. I'm not exactly certain, but there's something out there.
So I've pinged where roughly the location where you guys currently are. That is you're close to Federation space, between Federation and Klingon space. I'll do it again.
Ping that again for me.
Right there.
Okay, cool.
The triangle.
Yep, in the triangle area. The Azure Nebula, you can sense that. You know, you're not that far from Epsilon Outpost. Not that far from Starbase 234. So yeah, that is where you guys currently are. There's not much going on. There's not a lot of ships in the area. I mean, there's, you know, the normal Federation starships. The Ranger's not too far away. The Ranger is headed towards Starbase 234 from the Karaya system.
Our last order was to start heading towards the border and waving the flag, right?
Yeah, you're basically in the area that you're supposed to be right now. So
Okay.
you can go closer. You're just kind of on a freelance show the flag kind of mission at the moment. So.
Yeah. Okay, who's on helm?
Ensign
Lackey.
Ensign Lackey.
Yeah. He's multi-talented, or they're multi-talented.
Generic Randam.
Lucky, move us closer to the neutral zone.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yesbeth, keep an eye out there. I'm not sure what we're looking for, but if there's something that's going down in this area of space. It's going to come from over there.
Aye, aye. So she'll begin running the scan. She's gonna move closer to the newbie. What was their name? The communications officer. Sorry.
Yeah, is Lieutenant Soul is the or Lieutenant Tana, I guess would be the actual name, right? She's the communications officer, right? Kendall. Fell asleep. Yeah, you haven't had much. Which one was your communications officer? It was
yeah, Tana Su.
Tana, yeah. So you'd probably be on the bridge since communications, and I believe that Yezebeth was leaning in.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna go. Do you have any idea what the captain's on about? I'm not detecting any ships. Nothing. Not even sure what I'm looking for.
You look over to the captain. What are we looking for?
That's how you communicate. That's a way.
Trouble, Lieutenant. We're looking for trouble.
Do we have any other parameters?
No. Cloak ships, spatial disturbances. Keep an eye out on communication spectrum.
Okay.
Yes,
Look back over. Yes, Beth kind of shrug.
Beth will share that shrug.
Dasavi will reach out telepathically and see if she can.
I was just going to say, Dasavi senses from Ambrose almost a level of embarrassment of not really being able to answer that question because he's not used to. I mean, there's a difference between playing a hunch and the voice in my head told me things might happen. So he's a little bit embarrassed that he can't give a better answer, but he is like actually. He's in Ambrose mode. He's in war mode. Like it's that thin line between fear and I need to kick someone's ass.
You get probably a passing, like a fleeting. This is odd, but I trust you, so I'm going to roll with it. Feeling from her as she extends her senses out to see what she can pick up.
Okay. Is there anything that Tana picks up from the communications array and all?
Go ahead and give me between you and Yezebeth, go ahead and give me a roll for sensors and communications detection stuff. Like, so I'll say Yezebeth can make the main roll and then Tana can make the assist on that roll, which means you'd be rolling a single die. And then Yezebeth is making the primary roll. And the ship will assist, which I need to figure out where the ship's at. Here we go. Ship.
I feel like it's insight rather than reason, just because I'm not even sure what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Sensors focus black.
Sure.
Okay.
And what am I rolling?
Probably you could do insight and science. Or con. No, it's not con. That's not. I would think communications would be under science.
It's technically under engineering, but
is it?
Yeah.
I can go engineering.
Engineering's fine.
Cool.
Europa assists. You assist. So you got what? 2. Brian, you got 3.
Yep.
So and then 2 more. So that's 5. Difficulty is 2. So you have 3 momentum. Okay. What you detect, let me go back to the main screen there. What you detect, there's a great deal of comm chatter. It's encrypted primarily, coming from a number of sources. There is an encrypted transmission coming from the Ranger heading back to Starbase 234. Probably not a big deal there. You're also detecting near the Karaya system, there is a number of secure transmissions coming from Romulans, coming from Romulan warships. You are detecting 6 Romulan warbirds in that sector. That system is not technically in Romulan space, but it's also not in Federation space. So having 6 warbirds in that space is abnormal, to say the least.
In the neutral zone.
It is in what would have been the neutral zone prior to the current treaty, the current the current pact. So it is in contested, quote unquote, contested territory at the moment. So, but it is near it is in the neutral zone area. Yes.
Cool.
You have 3 questions that you guys can ask with that information if you want to. Otherwise, you just have 3 momentum you can store. No questions?
Yeah. I get an extra question. I get a bonus question for succeeding in the censor's role.
Sure.
Do they pose any immediate threat to any Federation to any Federation assets?
Not in the system they're currently in that you're aware of.
Okay.
There are no direct Federation stuff in that system. They're really close to Federation. I mean, they're like really close to Federation space, but they're not in Federation space. They're in that very nice Romulan gray area.
What is the closest habitable world to the Romulans?
Oh, that's a good question. Per this map, the closest one would be, the Karaya system, because they're in the Karaya system. The Adelphius would be the nearest Federation one, or possibly the Theta Eridin.
Okay.
Starbase 234 would be much closer than that, though. They could pose a threat to either Starbase 234 or Starbase 157 if they wanted to attack from there, and it wouldn't take them long at all. Like, they could hit either of those bases or those planets within, at warp 9 within a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes at the most.
I think we should keep the rest of the momentum, unless, Kendall, you have any ideas for questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I'll report that to the captain. I'm detecting some unusual Romulan activity in the Karai system, but they don't seem to be any threat to any Federation assets.
Ambrose is familiar with the Karai system, right? As a captain, like he knows what that is.
Yeah, you probably would almost certainly have read the reports.
Okay.
It is not common knowledge, but it is probably common captain knowledge.
Would it be going too far to get that hunch? They say Karai system, and
no, I'd allow it.
Yeah, that's it.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I think like the light bulb goes off. Karaya. 6 warbirds. Tana, relay a message to, was it 234?
Yeah.
Starbase. Relay a message to 234. Let them know that the Romulans have amassed a small fleet in the neutral zone. We are going to investigate.
Yes, sir.
Helm, set a course. Best possible speed, but try not to spook them.
We lower shields?
No, this is the neutral zone.
Okay.
All right. You guys lay a course and head that way. Back on the planet. Back on the planet, you guys are heading down to level. You've arrived at level 6. There's as you come into level 6, there are some security guards there, just at the main end. All of the cells, all right, hang on. You come down the stairwell. You come around the stairwell, and there are 2 guards. You get a quick look around the room. They don't notice you at first. Before you duck back around the edge of the corner. There are about 8 cells in this area. The power source is on for all of them, but you only noticed 2 cells that had anyone in them. The rest of the cells were just the power's up because that is probably the protocol for this particular time. The 2 guards are armed. They do have spend the threat. They do have the disruptor rifles. They are wearing armor, which is a second threat. They are on alert, but they happened to have just not caught the two of you when you first came around that corner. Because I'm assuming that you snuck your way down there and didn't just run out in the middle of the room. So there are 2 guards, 2 prisoners in separate cells, 7 cells total. All the power fields are up. There is a console behind the guards.
On their way there, would there be time for Tong to do something?
Sure.
If it's possible from his location where he's at in I don't know, power control or whatever, he wants to try to tap in and make it seem like there's a prison break on the opposite side of the prison.
Okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So limit the number of guards that would be available.
Yeah, he wants to trip alarms. He wants to redirect communications traffic. He wants to make it seem like there's something big going over there. Don't worry, everything's fine over here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you need to roll for that.
Okay.
So with that, Teketh and Silva, what do you guys want to do? Or not Teketh, the doll.
I think so. The guards go to respond to that.
No, they're not leaving the room. There are no reinforcements coming now.
Right.
Oh, okay. I suppose we should take out the guards. I'll take the one on the left. You take the one on the right.
Sure.
All right. Silva steps around the corner, and you get to roll first.
Okay. I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and set my phaser to vicious. So charge is a minor action, and then attack.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I set it to piercing.
It's charge. You can decide what you want to do with it afterwards, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I'll spend a momentum as well. That's 4 successes.
All right. That hits with 2 momentum.
Okay, great.
They are wearing armor.
Yeah. We'll do piercing. I'm ambushing them, so I get 2 extra bonus die. Oop, ignore that second roll. There we go. There's that correct second roll. So
9 damage with 3 effects.
3 effects. Yeah. You know what? I'll do area on that.
Okay. Area rather than piercing.
You know what? No, I'm specifically not going to do area because I want to see if Teketh will actually shoot a Romulan.
Gotcha.
No, I'm legitimately trying to tell if he would.
Right.
So I think she'll just use piercing on that.
All right. That Romulan goes down. You have 2 momentum from that if you want to keep it, and you guys can, or you can use that to, what is the thing? Retain advantage. Is that what it's called?
Retain the initiative. Yeah.
Retain the initiative.
That's a good idea. We'll retain the initiative. So you Teketh can go ahead and go.
All right. So Teketh, you can go before the Romulan has a chance to counter.
Great.
Shoot Silva in the back of the neck.
Do my best. This is also daring security?
Yeah.
Okay. I will also, is it accurate? However many, you kindly. However many momentum we have.
It is control security to shoot a phaser, actually.
Oh, hey, that's better. Yeah, maybe. We actually have 6 momentum down here.
No, you have 2 momentum. Those are threat.
The red ones are threat. The gold ones
right.
are momentum.
Yeah, they're on the other side. You can't see them. They're hidden.
There we go. I found them. My character sheet is over to the right.
Yeah.
This way. Okay. I will spend one of those momentum to also roll in a die.
Okay.
Hey, you look at that.
2. That hits. So roll damage.
All right. Forgot to specify ahead of time who's in charge.
So 3 with 2 threat, or not threat, effects. So 3 damage. The Romulan does not go down because he only takes 1 damage because of the resistance of 2 for the armor.
Right.
So he takes one stress and then levels his disruptor at you. It is not set to stun.
Well, shit.
Which I will burn another threat for that. So.
And because I forgot to charge ahead of time, the effects are.
Yeah, you got to choose charge first.
Yeah.
So that is me rolling to hit. 2d20. I've already spent enough moment threat to actually put you in the position of doom. Oh, I think I missed. So the disruptor goes past you and dissolves part of the wall. Part of the wall that is giving you cover is now gone. But it is now your guys' actions. It's top of the round because I only have 1 Romulan left. Either one of you guys can go.
Do you want to take a round up or should I?
I think, yeah, let's.
I don't mind you getting another whack at him if you want.
If you don't take him out, though, he'll get another whack at you. So
right, precisely. I think Teketh is a little phased at this moment, pun intended. He is just sort of like watched the ugly green energy shoot just past his face and is staring slightly aghast at what is left of the wall.
Silva makes note of his hesitation, and she'll take a shot at them.
It's probably fairly apparent that it's not hesitation; it is fear.
Yeah, it's a total fear response, but she can take it how she wants.
Yeah, interpret however she wishes.
Yeah. I'll charge. That's 2 successes. Yeah.
Damages.
Yeah. I'll do piercing. Yeah.
6 with piercing, so you do piercing of 2, which is plenty, or however many piercing you want to do, like 6 if you want. All good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he goes down. Romulan is now unconscious. As you enter into the room, the 2 Romulans are on the ground, and a Klingon slowly stands up from his bed positioning and moves towards the wall, not the wall, but the electric, the door thing. My word.
Force field.
The force field. That is the word I'm looking for. As does a Romulan in one of the next door to him cells. Where did my guys go here? This is the Romulan that you see. And this is the Klingon that you see. And on that, since it's 10:30, we'll try to come back next week.
Okay. Is that actually Worf?
It's actually Worf.
Interesting.
And that is actually Mendek.
Who is Mendek?
He was the Romulan from the episode where, I think it was Data's Day is the episode. He's the one who takes the Vulcan, quote unquote, Vulcan ambassador who was killed in a transporter accident and turns out to be a Romulan spy.
Oh, okay. But not when we haven't encountered.
You guys have never encountered him. He is a series character, not a character you guys have. You guys haven't really dealt with that many Romulans.
No. Well, I thought it might be one of the
Not from lack of trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. On that note, we will try to return next week. I will make my effort to come home early and do the things so we can play next week. So let's go ahead and do our wrap up. What moment stands out most to you this evening?
It's good to get some combat. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun.
I liked him being a gremlin hunched over a computer and hissing at people.
I did like that. That was really good.
That was a lot of fun.
I liked surprising Kendall and waking her up.
Yeah.
I assumed you were playing Minecraft or something.
Sorry, I was zoned out. I was writing something down.
Yeah. Anyone else have a moment that stands out to them?
I think the mildly failed attempt to intimidate Harris.
Yeah, I wish that had gone better, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. I enjoyed that whole bit. I liked it.
I enjoyed playing out that scene. Ambrose said some cool things.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually, I will say that I was on my feet for a second. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to reply to this. I don't have a good response. And then you kept it going. I'm like, oh, there's my response. There's my response. So if you had me at the beginning of that rant, that speech of yours, and by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, just a little too far.
A little bit too far. Yeah. That's all right. New captain syndrome. It worked out.
I love it.
Well, when you come out of Starfleet Academy going into diplomacy and then fight in 2 different wars over the next decade,
right,
you lose a little bit of that diplomatic edge.
Right. What was a good idea, bad idea for today's session? What did you consider good idea, bad ideas?
Putting Teketh in combat situations.
Yeah, not good at that. Putting Tong in combat situations, not good at that.
Leaving Tong alone in the middle of a maximum security prison.
Yeah.
That was your idea.
I have to do something. I have to do something with that now. I don't know what yet, though. So.
Oh, it's going to be great. Terrible. I really hope Tong doesn't die.
Oh, poor Tong.
I tried to kill Teketh. I just missed.
Yeah.
You did. You did indeed.
Anyone else have a good idea, bad idea?
No.
All right.
I really liked Silva's idea of hacking into Broll's communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really good.
I know as Jack, I personally went into this episode like completely shoving down the Shadowrunner in me, so I didn't do stuff like that, but I'm glad somebody did.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, just a good idea, bad idea is getting separated from what's his name?
Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a bullet point on my sheet. So
it was a bad idea, but it was also a really good idea.
There was no way he was coming home from this mission.
Yeah, no, I had no, like the first bullet point where there's a potential combat and Thomas does this. I really had, and Thomas explodes in a horrible ball of flames, but however we want to deal with it.
When we were packing to come down to the planet, there were only 3 black turtlenecks, so we had to use a red one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What did you see from another character or player that you want to see more of in the next few sessions? I would like to see more of Kendall. That is on me. I talked to Kendall before the last episode started, that there wasn't going to be a lot for her characters to do, just because I had already planned out a lot of this stuff before we even got to the point of needing wanting a 4th player. So
yeah, I'm chill with it.
I really did like that. What Tana said when Yesbeth turned and was like, "What is the captain up to?" And you're like, "Hey, Captain, what are you up to?"
I guess that's what happens when you ask the communications officer for what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, she communicates. She's also Bajoran. They're very bold people.
Yeah, fair.
I'm interested in exploring more of the Bajoran stuff. There's a lot of Bajoran stuff on the ship, even though there aren't a lot of Bajorans on the ship. I think it'd be interesting to do more with that stuff. So
yeah, that's cool.
I'll make sure to send you their backstories over the next week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you could change one thing about the session, what would it be?
As always, more just more time, more scenes, more depth. But
my one thing is, I wish I'd a little more time to do this one, because I really wanted to end this in one session. As Jack and I were talking about it. Yeah, as Jack and I were talking about it between sessions, like what he wanted to get out of it, what I wanted to get out of it, what I knew what Brian wanted to get out of it. Because this was largely this was Silva's time to shine kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so far so good.
And I'm glad she is. Yeah.
Making sure that everybody got a satisfying story out of this. I kept adding more and more because to be able to get Ambrose's stuff in there and everything else. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be close. I might go to this one episode if we really power through it, but I didn't want to push things too hard, so we didn't get satisfying scenes. So
right.
3 it is. I think we can definitely wrap up in session 3 though. So in fact, it might even be a short session. I don't know. But anybody else have anything they'd like to change about this session?
I think so.
No, I really enjoyed the session. I thought it was great. Maybe the only thing I would have done maybe a little bit differently is I wouldn't have had the fight with the Romulan techs in the office, just because it didn't feel very climactic since we'd already beaten the guards outside.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what the moral reality of what you guys were going to do was.
I think it went quick enough, and
yeah.
Well,
there was some good.
The first fight was so fast.
Yeah,
one roll.
It was a minor nitpick, as I said.
Yeah,
I that's me stretching. I enjoyed the session greatly. So
I think if I would change anything, it would be a little bit more like having an actual briefing scene with Thomas, and maybe doing a little bit of prep and planning. Again, that's the Shadowrunner screaming in my head.
Right.
But we can't, because we beamed down into a situation that was completely different from what Jack was anticipating.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Absolutely.
But I know when you have all of these things you want to get through, it's easy to skip something.
Yeah. And the briefing thing, I don't like doing mission briefings. Partially because they become exposition, which is fine, but you can also give away way too much in that exposition. Like where do you limit what we're actually going to do? Like, how do you keep the suspense of what the scene is going to be? And in TV, I think totally could be done. I just didn't write how to do it, but in TV that would have been an off-camera situation. That would totally been off camera. So that's kind of where I was at with it. It was off camera.
I would have been fine with it being off camera, but I would have liked to just know what our objective was when we started.
Which is actually
I don't know. I think I'm thinking specifically TNG. They're in the briefing room. They're like Worf's over here, LaForge is over there. They got the screen up. They're like, we're gonna go here and we're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. And it's like a 2-minute scene. It's not this whole.
It can be a scene. Like a lot of times it would be off camera. Sometimes it would be on camera. Like it just depends on the episode. In this particular episode, I feel like it would have been an off camera situation. Mm-hmm. But we absolutely should have done something on camera or in the Discord chat at the very least. So yeah, it's a fair assessment. I don't have.
That's fine.
Else. Oh, goodness.
Tong has to think on his feet.
Right.
I will say I like that the Romulan guards weren't like super soldier guards.
No,
it was taking forever for us to beat. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice being able to kick some butt.
It also shows one of the problems I think the system has, which is combat is really, really fast.
One way or the other, because
I don't see that as a problem.
It's I like fast combat. Combat doesn't pose a real threat in this game because players almost always go first, and you can end most combats with the area effect ability. You really can.
I'll agree with you. It's an easy game, but I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. It's Star Trek, And
that's exactly it. It is a Star Trek game. It matches the show. It's not combats don't take long, and Starfleet almost always wins. So, but when we're talking about stakes, it does pull the stakes out of the game in a lot of cases.
I'll tell you, if you want to make things harder, the way you do that is you spend threat, give them extra die to roll.
That or give them weapons that are on kill, and there's your stakes right there, and armor, and
Yeah. But I mean,
cover is a big help too. Like you can use cover to really not slow things down, but to pace things out a little differently. And
right. But even just spending threat makes them more dangerous by a wide margin.
Yeah.
So if you do find yourself wanting to make combat a little more high stakes, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're not talking mechanically, anytime you say, I'm going to use threat to do this, I'm like, okay, oh boy, this is going to be bad.
Right. I like the threat mechanic. I use it a lot.
It's a good mechanic.
I think you're not wrong that as in raising the combat, raising the combat dice does actually help. I didn't want that in this session. Like I wanted you guys to go through these Romulans like it was, an episode of Star Trek. So
no complaints. I was just making conversation.
Right. All right. I don't have anything else. We got some good feedback from the fans today. I really thank you guys for coming by.
A lot of good conversation in chat. Hello.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. If I don't reply to you during the show, it's because I'm running the game. And actually my chat window is behind my microphone, so I almost don't see it all the time.
I got into what was happening and forgot to even look at Twitch.
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, I like having, and it looks like the Final Frontiersman is actually on YouTube at the moment. So it's switching between the two, and we've got people on Twitch and YouTube both. So I'm happy about that.
But make sure your Twitch account is linked to your Prime Video account, and we're going to watch.
Hold on. Sorry.
Right.
Like, what just happened?
I don't know what that was, but all right.
I
Ryan
went to
did a thing.
Twitch. I went to Twitch to see the comments, and it auto started.
Oh, I got you.
But mysterious British voice from the void, that is correct. You can use your Amazon Prime membership to freely subscribe to a channel. And I recommend this one here, Studio Tembo.
I do not disagree with that at all. Please subscribe. Share this show with anybody that you think might enjoy it. There are episodes coming out in the audio format shortly. I have been just too busy to get them edited. So right now, the only way to catch the backlog of episodes is on Twitch and YouTube. I'm going to try to change that before I leave on Thursday morning when I leave. So hopefully tomorrow I will have time to finish them, getting them edited and up. I don't have anything else. Please, if you like the show, also we're on Patreon. You can find all the links to all the things in the link at the top of the chat. It is linktree/Studio Tembo. Also, please feel free to check out all of our favored channels on YouTube, of which one is Jack. So check out People's Ascension and his show. When you got a show coming out soon, Jack? Or are you still on temporary hiatus?
I don't have anything on my channel just yet. I am working to set up something for season 4 of RPGs Uncovered, but I might be getting back into just doing some hangout streams, playing some games, talking about TTRPGs. So come hang out. Follow me on Twitter at PPLS Ascension, and click on links below.
Absolutely. Also, his link is in the chat up towards the top too. My wife really wants to start streaming a game together, the two of us. So we might be doing a stream night coming up pretty soon here on Twitch. So I don't know. We're still trying to figure out how to do it and what game we want to play. So it could be fun though. I don't have anything else. Again, I've said that 3 times now. So
this time it's personal.
This time I mean it. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Bye.